Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to episode 25 of the Ready Up podcast. As always, my name is Niall. I'll be hosting the show. Joining me is the bald bearded bruiser, Bobby Boucher, and his compadre, his patriot in arms, Timothy, or Tim the trucker, Timothy, as I'm going to call you. That's it. You may be surprised to hear my voice. I ended up being a last minute addition to the show. Bobby was going to cover it, and he basically shit himself. He didn't want to do the intro, so I literally had to fly back from holiday to do the intro. And no, this week Bobby and me have played Final Fantasy. I've convinced Bobby to play it. He is a massive Final Fantasy nerd now, so he's going to go back and play all of them. We have the showcase reacts, which even though we did a reaction last week on YouTube, if you haven't seen it, you want to watch it live, you can watch that. We do obviously have kind of thoughts since then, so we'll be covering that, and a shitload of news from like the Ubisoft press conference, and then just other things that came out for the week. If you haven't listened to the show before, like and subscribe. Listen to us on Spotify. You can listen to us on YouTube. We have TikToks out there, and you can also send any emails to readyuppod@gmail.com. The end on that. So, obviously, the new guest it's our first guest in the show. We wouldn't count Kieran. Kieran was he's I don't know what we wouldn't call him a guest.
I don't know what that was.
A stranger that time was. When Kieran's going to be on next week, if you remember the episode 2 to 4, that's where his run ended. He got cancelled by Bobby.
Essentially, Tim was actually the final blow.
He was the catalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like, fucking, you just killed that guy. Well, Tim, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm good. So Tim is a regular listener of the show. He's also Bobby Boucher's mate. And he has beaten me at Age of Empires, and he is Age of Empires king. More so than Bobby. Whilst to have you on the show, Tim, you've listened to every episode, yeah, pretty much?
Yes, so far, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to travel you back to January, or the end of January, when me and Bobby both played a little game called Dead Space. Now,
Jesus Christ.
Do you remember the whole fiasco on Dead Space and easy mode?
Was that you thought that completing that easy mode wasn't really completing it at all?
It's when Bobby told me he beat it on normal, but never got the normal trophy, and then beat it in half the time off me, who did beat it on normal. Do you have any thoughts on that at all?
I think I'll remain impartial on that.
Tim, you're an achievement hunter, trophy hunter as well. So you know,
yes, very much so.
If you change the difficulty at a certain time and change it back, that will affect the trophy. So on my defense, my save fucked up, and I lost about 30 minutes of playtime, which was also a big ass boss as well. So I turned it back down to easy. Went back into normal after I'd done the bit that I kind of glitched out on me, and ever since then I've been.
Sounds sus. Don't know. Like if this was an actual case, I think they'd be on my side. But
I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll remain a mystery.
So Tim, tell us
to be fair, if I was going for the achievement, I would probably have done the exact same thing and changed the difficulty and then changed it back.
I didn't actually know that there was a trophy for it, or else I would have been on hard.
Made it on normal. No, you would have played the way it was intended. As agreed. Sorry, I don't mind you playing on easy, but as agreed. But anyway, that was in the past. Bobby's a changed man. He beat Sekiro. We'll not get into it with Sekiro. Bobby's gets tempered with that. Tim, tell us your gaming history. So you're an Xbox fan. You're an X fan.
Yeah, I would say so. Wasn't always the case.
Okay.
Definitely was a big PlayStation fan back with the original
PS2.
PlayStation and PS2 era.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you start? Where did your gaming journey start? What console? Now you might be showing your age now.
I'm definitely going to show my age. I know you've both discussed this before. I probably predate this. So, I played on an Atari. I think it's a 2600. It was called.
Yeah. 2600.
That's the one. Yeah. Wee cartridge games with a wee single joystick with a wee red button.
Jesus.
You ever heard of ET fiasco on the Atari?
Have, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Killed the gaming.
I don't know about that. No.
Oh, actually, so ET was released, and basically all the games were shovelware, and you paid premium for it. They released ET to go alongside the movie back in the 80s, and they sold so much, they had so much stock that didn't sell. Supposedly it was rumored for years that they buried it in fucking Nevada desert or somewhere. It ended up being the case that they actually did. I think it was IGN went and dug up loads of copies, or there was a whole thing that was like crowdfunded where they end up finding like landfill of ET,
Oh
and it was
yeah,
so bad. Yeah.
yeah, that actually rings a bell. I remember seeing something about that actually.
So did you have ET, Tim?
I didn't actually know. I had, if you remember them games called Millipede and Centipede.
Oh yeah, I'm
Um,
familiar. Yeah.
Galactica was actually a big favorite of mine. Um, there's a game called, is it Desert Falcon? If
Hmm.
anybody's listening that has played it, if they could tell me exactly what the purpose of that game was, I would love to know. Still to this day, I don't know what I was supposed to be doing in that game.
Fuck me. What age are you, Tim?
36.
Oh, okay. You're not that old. Do you know
What
what I
is
mean?
Kieran? Kieran's like
He's
88
about
or
50, 47 or something. Fucking out
But
anyway.
the Atari actually wasn't mine. It actually belonged to my dad. And then it had been about 96, probably when I got my first console, which was the Sega Mega Drive.
Okay, I had to say that was my
Um,
first foray.
and that's really where my gaming journey started as such.
You were like me. You were a bit more of a hand-me-down child, or at least late to the kind of
Late to the party,
generations.
probably, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I actually wanted a Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
The
So did you? No, remember we were talking our episode. We were talking. You kind of
Well, I
always.
didn't know it was Declan had. He got a lend of his cousin's Nintendo SNES, sorry,
Mhm.
and he had Krusty's Funhouse and Mario Kart, and I was in love. I was like, this is the best thing ever. But then that was like, I think the PlayStation then just came out after it. So who the fuck wanted a Nintendo then? You know, at that stage. But obviously
Yeah.
the 64, played that in a friend's house and stuff. But yeah, probably like I was very close to being a Nintendo nerd as a kid. Now I'm just a Nintendo nerd as an adult, slightly.
But you're getting there anyway. You're on
I'm getting
that
there.
journey.
Yeah, I'm on the journey. Tears of the Kingdom Game of the Year. So you played the PS1, PS2, and then I guess like everyone else, obviously 360 kind of just took you away.
It's actually I got the original Xbox first,
Oh, okay.
but I had really no intention of getting one. I was actually heading out to meet some mates. We were heading away for his birthday or whatever it was. We were heading paintball. We were all meeting at his house first, and I walked in and they had the two Xbox consoles set up at the end of the room with the TVs playing Halo,
Okay.
and I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting."
Sucked you in.
That's yeah, that's sort of where I got the interest in the Xbox. But it was actually when I saw them playing Fable.
Oh,
But
okay.
We're
oh,
going to get
this
into
is
that later too.
yeah,
Hmm.
this is definitely something I wanted to try. So I was late to the Xbox party because my original Xbox was actually the Crystal Edition, if you
Yeah.
remember it.
Still
Yep.
got one of them.
Yeah, I still have mine somewhere. Um, so yeah, late to the party with it, got it, got a 360, suffered the red ring of death, of course.
Hmm.
Got another 360, then moved on and got a one. The one suffered a few issues too over the years, and then we moved to the S.
Hmm.
And yes, I know I've been made out to be tight because I've only just bought an X. But in my
You know, you got
defense,
that idea.
uh, I did try to get an X when they were released at the start, and for love nor money, could not get one. Every time I had one in my basket, they were sold out. So
Hmm.
I have an S. I've had the S for about 2 years now, I think it would be.
Mhm.
It has served me well. It's done everything it needs to do. But yes, now got an X. Very happy. Wish I'd got it sooner.
There
Yeah.
you are. Do you deny Bobby's claims of being tight? Because now's the time.
Um,
No, you can't.
I can't, but again, I'm only tight when it comes to games.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, consoles. I absolutely detest having to pay full price for any game. I would much rather wait for it to drop in price.
I have
Essentially,
a mate
that's
who
a
works at
fucking.
CEX.
That's a, that's a smart thing to do there, though, because like you're not really getting the full proper experience till about 6 months down the line. By the time they get patches out,
Yeah,
the way games are coming out now.
100%. Absolutely.
It was more in the past. I would have pre-ordered and got
Hmm.
on the day release, and I'd just so many pre-orders that it got that didn't live up to expectation, and that just made put me off. So that's
Yeah.
why I just wait now. I'll wait for the games to come out and see what they're like, and then get them.
Yeah.
See, it's FOMO. That's why a lot of people end up like myself and Bobby will just go out because it's like you drive the hype. But No, you're absolutely spot on. My fear with Bobby would be that he just still wouldn't play them. Like at the moment, he's still loads of PlayStation games to play, and he still won't go and play them. Fisherman shit sitting there. So
Yeah.
Bobby, I think with you, your best bet is just playing things brand new because it seems then's the only time you'll play it.
And to be
Is
fair,
that
like I have played a lot of stuff
and you've
this
done
year
well this
that's
month,
like,
this year, sorry.
not my usual kind of go
Probably
to.
because of the podcast, isn't it? And game
It
sharing in
isn't.
general.
Well, I will game share as well. That kind of because like the Dead Space and all. Like I wouldn't have bought that, but like you made a clear point. You were like, you love horror, like it's your favorite movie genre, but you won't play the games. And then I did start playing them, and I absolutely fucking love them. Like Resident Evil is one of my favorite franchises now.
And now you're a Final Fantasy fan. It's like fuck. Now I was right.
Here, we'll get into that. We will get into that later, and you'll find out exactly what I think of Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, okay. So Tim, did I strike it as a pony, as Bobby would say?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I actually put on my Xbox the other day, and the vibe I got off the thing, I just wanted to turn it off. So do you know what? I fire mail. I am. I would have been more PC Master Race, but I'll tell you right now, I'm going fully off Xbox. It's turning me. It's the UI. It's the UI, guys. I just don't like it. But I don't know. If they had good games as well, the UI doesn't matter. Look at the Switch. Game of the Year, Tears of the Kingdom.
Jesus.
No interesting at PS5. Coming over to the dark side then, Tim?
Honestly, no. I do have a PS4, and Bobby will tell you, I detest the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I really do hate it.
What? Why did you? Did you just get that? Because like the likes of Ran and all, that's what they had.
I actually got it for Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Originally got it because I wanted to play the exclusive games.
Yeah.
So I got it for Spider-Man, and it is a fantastic game. Like, definitely worth playing. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But then likes of Ran and Arn and all had a PS4 as well, so we just hopped on and played Call of Duty and Fortnite and different things with them on it.
Yeah, because that was the thing during that generation. Like crossplay wasn't there. So like that's why I was 360 and went to Xbox One because that's where all my friends were.
Fuck, that's weird thinking about crossplay not being a thing, and like it wasn't even that long ago.
It's like if a game comes out and it's not crossplay, you're like, what the fuck's the problem, or what's the issue here? You know, why isn't it?
Yeah.
Crossplay?
So Tim, what is it you hate about PlayStation or the PS4 then?
I just had so many issues with it connecting to the internet.
That's what Kieran said. One of them episodes ago, 2 or 3 episodes.
I think I had like a 3-month period where anytime I went onto it, I had to restart it and reconnect it to my Wi-Fi. It was just, if I tried to play anything online, it was just absolutely dreadful. The lag was unreal, and no matter what I did, how many times I reset it, it just would not work.
Maybe?
Would not keep it.
Wi-Fi on the console?
The Wi-Fi was fine. I actually even got a booster to try and help it, and tried it with a cable, tried it various different things.
It was still bad.
And just for about a 3-month period, it was shocking, and that drove me away from it completely. But touch wood, it has worked ever since. But really, it's just a glorified DVD player at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's say this about the PS5 first and the Xbox One X or whatever Series X. I don't know, but every time I try to download on the Series X and you play a game, it throttles the speed. Have you noticed this, Bobby?
On the downloads?
Yeah, compared like the PlayStation will just give you unlimited bandwidth for it, but
there's an option you can
setting it.
turn that
Yeah,
off.
there's actually I was wondering, it's like that.
Yeah.
But at this stage, it's just kind of like either or. To be fair, it's just really the exclusive games and stuff. It's
something though. Like we're going to get into Starfield later on, but the likes of games coming out that are 30 FPS. If you have a big beefy computer, you know, why would you play on Xbox essentially?
Well, we're going to see more, I reckon, of 30 FPS going forward. I know you were saying.
100%.
I know you were kind of thinking, oh, PlayStation would put out 60 FPS, but I would say, why not? They probably fucking would. To be fair, as long as I have a PC, I don't care. I don't even mind. Like, yes, I prefer things being 60, but if I have to play it at 30, I'll play it at 30. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes it's worth it if it's just convenient.
Yeah.
So what we'll do then is we get straight in the news. Typically, these are pretty beefy conversations anyway, Tim. So obviously you listened to it. So we'll get into it. So, Tim, we're going to talk about the Xbox Showcase. Now, me and Bobby obviously reacted to it live last week. I don't know if you watched that yourself, but as an Xbox fan, what was your thoughts and impressions on the show? How did you feel about it? Did you watch it?
I did, yeah. Few games announced that I'm really looking forward to.
I'll do a recap, right? So for anyone who hasn't watched it, we got a new Fable CGI trailer. We got Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty DLC announced, Avowed gameplay slash trailer, I guess. South of Midnight, it was Compulsion Games' new game. They're the guys behind We Happy Few in Contrast. Star Wars Outlaws was announced by Ubisoft, a team massive behind The Division. Forza Motorsport, we got more information on that. Clockwork Revolution by Inxile, which, in my opinion, is a fucking blatant rip-off of not Dishonored, fucking Bioshock Infinite. Sea of Thieves Monkey Island, which Bobby mysteriously predicted correctly. Say no more. Flight Sim DLC, Hellblade 2, City Skylines 2, Jusant by Don't Nod, 33 Immortals, and then the new Series S Black 1 terabyte model. So from that, like, what did you like? What didn't you like? Are you hyped as an Xbox fan? Do you feel like there's going to be good exclusives coming your way? Or are you worried? Where's your head at, Tim?
I'm not worried. I think there's a good number of games coming out there that, for me, have grabbed my attention. Hopefully, likewise for others. Fable was the big one. Like, straight away, happy days, a new Fable. Like, we've been waiting for a new Fable for several years now.
Yep.
When did Fable 3 came out? It came out in
2011.
It's a long time to be waiting for a new game. But didn't they go into? They had difficulties, didn't they?
2010, Lionhead. They lost
Lionhead,
Peter.
yes.
Peter Molyneux, he's a fucking dreamer. He was behind Fable 1 and 2, I believe. He used to kind of come out and say, oh, well, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. And it never did. But he done Black and White, which Bobby loves.
Absolutely.
So as we know, you might like Fable. I don't know if he was behind Fable 3. Fable 3 was quite, I don't know, did you play it back in the day, Tim?
Did play Fable 3. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was quite like tumultuous about people kind of, I never played it. I remember looking to get it. But there was a lot of like negativity about it and then a lot of positive. It was kind of like, I actually enjoyed, I was a Fable 2 fan, obviously listening to the show. But yeah, so you're talking what? By the time this comes out, we're probably looking 14, 15 years since the last one, which is a big fucking long time anyway.
I would say
That's if you ignore that.
Yeah.
So if you ignore that, was it Fable Journeys that came out in the Kinect,
Kinect?
wasn't it?
Jesus, remember that?
Dreadful device.
Bobby loved it.
I liked it.
Maybe for the wrong reasons, I would guess.
I loved it. I thought it was cool. I was just new at the time, having that there in your hanging and then walking in or Xbox on or recognize your face. I thought it was quite good.
Bobby wanked over at Connectables.
I actually didn't play anything on the Kinect, funny enough, but
that's okay. Well,
I liked it for the other features.
Fuck, do you remember PlayStation did all that with the PlayStation Move and shit? They're trying to copy the. I had that as well. Fuck me, half of them are shocking. Fuck, I had that as well. Yeah. Do you ever have that?
Yeah. Oh, IPS2.
Cleaning windows. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you reckon someone played that and then became a window cleaner? It was like, this is my calling in life. I'm a window cleaner. Probably, most likely. So Fable 3, the new Fable, Playground Games, the guys behind fucking Forza Horizon. The trailer had the guy from the IT crowd, wasn't it? Yeah. I forget his name. Likeable guy though. No gameplay, obviously. Is a bit.
That was gameplay.
Was it?
Yep. There's a whole thing on Twitter about that. There, it says at the bottom in game.
In game, fantastic.
Yeah, there it was like, I think it was probably a mixture like in game CGI, and then I think the actual running. When you see the wee tiny girl, who's I'm assuming is you running and getting chased.
That would be like kind of gameplay. Yeah, I would believe that. Yeah.
But I mean, like Forza, they're Playground Games, and they've made Forza Horizon 5 and obviously all the Forza Horizon series, and they're absolutely, I would say they're the best looking games on the Xbox at the minute. Like, so I know that the engine's good for it, and they can work their magic on it. If they can do that there with Fable, like I think it's going to look absolutely stunning. I'm interested because I never played a Fable before, so I like the humor, but it's got that British kind of humor, wanker, fucking. She was about to say fuck at the end of it and all, like, so I love all that kind of stuff.
No, definitely. Look, it's very appealing of a game. Yeah. You kept on saying I looked really excited watching the showcase. I watched it back. I was smiling.
You were trying not to be excited.
What do you think I'm a pony to that degree? I'm like, I can't.
Yes.
I can't be excited.
Yeah. You were really trying your hardest not to, and you were like, oh my god, this looks amazing.
I was more probably hype on the whole thing than you. You were kind of like, oh, it was not good. Free.
For me, it didn't deliver the stuff that I wanted it to deliver, like State of Decay and stuff. But I did say, like, in our predictions that I don't think it'll be there. I think it'll be next year.
So we got Fable. Don't know how much you want to add to it. Looks great. Obviously, it's just a trailer had going to react to it. I'm hyped for it.
Yeah.
Probably looking 2025. More Cyberpunk. Bobby, you haven't really touched Cyberpunk too much apart from making I've
Yeah.
said it before in the podcast, Tim. I'm sure you've heard, but back
Oh, I've
before I
heard,
really
yeah.
didn't. Yeah, he made Demi, but also started sending me pictures across of a nude girl and making like her debut size or something. I was like, "This is Demi." Like, so you're sending me nude pictures of your girlfriend? Bit weird.
I do want to
Um,
play it. I know. Do you remember Tim? We were kind of messaging back and forth about it when you were going to get it when it was on sale. I don't think you actually did get it, but
No, I never did get
it
it.
looks
Yeah.
good. Like it does look good, and I think now, especially that it's got the kind of polish behind it now on the consoles, that it may be worth picking up. And apparently, this DLC changes a lot of things, like for the better, quality of life improvements.
well, I played it. I thought, yeah. Could be a 3, most likely a 3.5, kind of like that kind of tier. Personally, good though. Like if you're looking for something to play, like July and August, I sent the picture in the Bobby earlier. There's really fuck all coming out for the next 2 months,
Yeah.
so you've got kind of stuff to fit in there. Me and Bobby will be talking about what we're gonna go be doing for the next while. Sounds very weird, but probably give it a go then. Like to be fair, I actually
I
felt like
would have
playing it
loved
again.
a third person mode,
PC it, Bobby.
like
Play it in the PC.
like GTA kind of style.
Hmm.
I think I would have probably played it if it was like that.
Yeah. So that's what? That's August or something. It's quite soon, isn't it?
August or September. There's quite a lot. That's why I thought we were talking about Liza P earlier. I thought it was August, but it's actually September. So I think
September.
do you know what? It's September because I can remember a podcast talking about it and saying that it's kind of really really close to Starfield. They were
Yeah.
kind of trying to get them hopefully to delay it and move it on a wee bit out of Starfield's way.
We'll get into Starfield in a minute, but another one that was shown was Avowed. Fuck, their name's gonna Obsidian's new game. It's kind of their take on Elder Scrolls. Let's face it, they're just kind of doing
Yeah.
something along that lines. Tim, are you an Elder Scrolls fan yourself?
No, I never really got into Elder Scrolls at all.
Oh, you've had
But
sex then? I played Elder Scrolls Online and I felt my virginity come back. Put it that way. Um, well, no, Bobby, you're obviously an Elder Scrolls fan. You're a fan of Fallout. You like Bethesda's game, whatever their fucking name is, the fucking studio. Is it just
Studio.
Bethesda Game Studios, isn't it? No, I'm talking about the main Bethesda
Oh
guys.
yes.
It's
Yeah,
Bethesda Game Studios.
Yeah,
Right,
it's just
okay.
Bethesda.
Talk me through your thoughts and feelings for Avowed.
I think it looks great. There's a lot of fucking chatter on Twitter saying that it's not what people were thinking it was going to be from the CGI trailer they got like a couple of years ago, but it was a CGI trailer a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why they were they were giving off about the art style, but that's Obsidian's art style. Like
Yeah.
if you look at Outer Worlds and you look at what do you call it, Grounded and stuff like that, there like that is their art style. They're a wee bit more cartoony, realistic.
Yeah.
So I think it looks great.
I think that
I'm excited for it.
I think the whole kind of thing at this point to me, it's kind of like more of the same. Like it's more of kind of what you would expect from an Elder Scrolls game. Maybe it's
Mhm.
not changing up enough, or I'm like,
But
oh, this looks something different. But then that's what people probably want.
yeah, it's going to fill the gap anyway because like we're probably not going to get an Elder Scrolls till like what a year we have
Fuck.
2030.
Do they only have one team working on it? Unless they
They've one big team and that's pretty much it. So we've got obviously Starfield they've been working on for the past like what 8 years. We know Elder Scrolls is next, and then a mainline Fallout is going to be after that. So you're kind of talking 2035 before we get a Fallout 5 from them,
Jesus Christ.
which is insane.
So Tim Avowed, obviously you haven't played any Elder Scrolls games. That's fine, by the way. But looking at that, was that something that you would think that you would like that, or is that just something that you were like, you know what, I'm not even that hyped for it?
no, I actually did like the look of it. I actually thought it looked a bit like Fable in a sense, where you had your weapons and your magic. I like that style of game. And like Bobby has said there, really like the artwork that they've gone with.
Yeah, I like that art style. Like sometimes it's nice just to be a wee bit kind of cartoony rather than just full on realistic and then not hitting the mark in terms of realism.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like sometimes it can be too serious Elder Scrolls in general as well.
Yeah,
Like I tried that Elder Scrolls Online and was like, do you know what? No, I can't be fucked.
And these are the guys that done Fallout New Vegas, which people argue that it's actually the best Fallout.
And the best RPG ever.
Yeah, a lot of people argue that point between Fallout 3 and 4, or sorry, 3 and New Vegas about which one's better.
I said about Stick of Truth. Those are the boys who did that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Obsidian?
So
There
they
you
done
go.
that. They done KOTOR 2. They've
Oh
done that
yeah,
one,
that's right.
which
Yeah.
a lot of people don't like, but I do like it. I love it just as much as the first one.
So I'm going to skip. I'm not going to go into every game, I think, because obviously, look,
This
every
isn't
game.
what I've listed down. everything anyway. It's just kind of
No,
stuff.
like I'm gonna skip the compulsion games one. I don't think we have much to talk
There's
about.
not too much to talk about. The art style's kind of like, was it Tim Burton? Was that what you would say? It's kind of like the or Nightmare Before Christmas kind of style.
It's more kind of trying to replicate that Miles Morales, or not Miles Morales, the fucking Spider-Man movie, but just using a lower
The
frame rate.
Spider-Verse. Yeah, it's a wee bit
Yeah,
different,
it's
but
just using a lower frame
we
rate.
don't know what it is at all yet. So it's just
like-
kind of
I would say it's like
CGI.
Coraline, Tim Burton's Coraline mixed with
Yeah.
fucking yeah. The Star Wars Outlaws. Now, Bobby, you listen to a lot more podcasts than me these days, so you'll probably listen to a
we'll
lot more
leave this
information.
one until the Ubisoft, because
Right.
more stuff actually came out in the Ubisoft about this one. This was
Right.
just kind of the reveal trailer, and then on the Ubisoft one, they showed gameplay and things like that.
Okay, Forza. I don't want to go into too much detail. We all know what to expect there.
Tim is the man for Forza.
Okay, Forza. Go away. Go ahead, Tim.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Take it away.
Yeah. I think we could all admit Forza looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
However, are we really hyped for it? That is the question.
Are you hyped for it? Are you a Forza? Are you big into your Forza games usually?
I'm a big racing fan, yeah. Big into Forza, and I have to admit, I can't get hyped for this one at all.
Why?
I think it's just much of the same. You know,
You've been filled to the brim before. You've kind of.
it's like Forza fatigue. I think I'm suffering.
Okay. Yeah.
The trailer really didn't bring anything.
No, didn't bring
You
anything
know,
new.
it didn't bring anything new. It didn't bring anything that wowed me. It was just Forza. You know, that's the easiest way to describe it. I even sent the trailer to a mate of mine, and his response was, "Forza is Forza. You just get what you
Yeah.
get." Now, there's a few interesting things in it. They seem to emphasize the pit stops in the trailer,
Mm-hmm.
which could be a cool new feature if they do implement it actually into the game. If it's like they have endurance races in the games, where pit stops in the past have literally just been drive in,
You just
you
drive
drive
in,
along the pit line, yeah,
slows down. Doesn't
nothing
it? You slows
happens.
your car down, nothing happens.
Yeah. Whereas Gran Turismo, you actually pull into the pit lane and pull into a pit garage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are we going to now get it? Whereas we pull into the pit, you know, a team's going to rush out and change the tires, refuel the car, fix the damage, and send you on the way.
That would be cool.
That would be actually very
For
interesting.
the realism of it.
Yeah.
No.
All we note is probably a really geeky, nerdy note. The Cadillac that they're showing a lot of in the trailer, the yellow one, the hypercar, is actually a hybrid. And there's talk that it may actually be leaving the pit lane under the hybrid, under the electric power,
Oh Jesus!
rather than the combustion engine.
Right.
So, is it gonna be like true to life, where if you're driving that particular car and you come into the pits, it'll switch on to electric, and then once you leave the pits, it'll switch back to the engine?
Mm-hmm.
That would
So-
just be a nice wee touch,
That is
a wee finishing touch.
the super nerdy end of the details. That one, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not.
What
Yeah,
engine will it be leaving with? I thought it was bad
It
enough
is
thinking
something
medium
we-
soft tires.
If
there
it
is,
is,
there's a point of the.
You'll hear the difference and all, won't you? Like if that is. The
Oh
case?
yeah, there's a point in the trailer where it actually sees the car leaving the pit, and I had seen comments where, is that leaving under hybrid? Or are they even going to introduce that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'll be actually interesting to see what way they go along with that. They might just leave it out entirely because, you know, 9 out of 10 people that play the game aren't going to be interested in that part of it anyway.
Yeah.
But personally, for me, I think that would be a nice wee touch to have that.
Yeah.
I think that's cool though, that the fact that you're interested in that,
Yeah.
and if it does have that, it just shows you, Bobby, me and you, that would be nothing to us.
Oh
But,
yeah,
like-
I mean, I enjoy the Forza games. Back in the day, like in 360 and stuff, we would have played with our friends and done laps around the Top Gear track and all, racing each other. Had a bit of crack. I wouldn't be listening to the noise of the engine and stuff like that. There as much. Well, some of my mates would have been a wee bit more into that there, but I've never been like a full on car nerd as such. But for me, I'm excited to see it and see how good it looks and how it feels, because to me, Forza is the better racer out of that and Gran Turismo.
I just don't mind. I wouldn't mind playing a racing game. To be fair, I put on Forza Horizon, not in the mood for that. But it would be if everyone's on it at the same time, even if it's for a week, a couple of weeks, we'll stick to it.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in jumping in. Like,
Stuff like that. See, like we were doing with the Top Gear track and all that was good crack. You know, getting the fastest lap, and in shitty cars like what they used to do in Top Gear, the fucking see you past 3D. and stuff like that. There, we would have had good crack with it.
Yeah. So that's what the tail end of the year then. That's out.
October 20th, I want to say,
October. Eh?
10th.
Straight to Game Pass as well.
Straight to
Oh,
Game
yeah,
Pass.
straight to Game Pass. It's the end of the year. I'm actually surprised. I wonder how the end of the year will actually shape up. Because obviously, Final Fantasy remake got
good.
pushed. What else is there? So overall, what's the end of the year? We've got obviously COD. You're gonna have
September's
COD,
busy. We've got Starfield. We've got Lies of P.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man's October, isn't it?
Spider-Man's October. Forza's October. We'll get into Avatar as well. It's coming out December 7th. So there's quite a lot.
Yeah, there probably
It
is
is
a lot.
gonna
We
be
haven't even
busy.
thought about it. Clockwork Revolution. There's some people who are very positive on it. By an Inxile. I don't know if any of you ever played BioShock Infinite, but I had a real problem with it because it just literally took BioShock Infinite and replicated it too much to the point that it kind of put me off. Have any of you ever played? I know you haven't, Bobby, but have you
I
ever
have
given
played
BioShock
Bioshock
Infinite?
Infinite. I haven't beat it, but I have played a few hours of it.
Oh, have you? Fair enough then. What was your impressions of it?
Very Bioshock vibes. You know, the NXL
Yeah.
actually came out and says they didn't actually mean to make it look
Oh, bullshit.
like Bioshock.
No, it's fucking...
I'm excited for it. See anything with time manipulation in it. I think that's class. That's what really like kind of wowed me with the trailer was the whole there was a bridge being destroyed or whatever, and you just whatever he done with the time thing, it kind of brought it all back, switching between the past and present. I think that's class. I love time stuff like that's. I'm a sucker for it.
No, in Exile, they're probably not the best developers. They made the Bard's Tale game. I don't even remember those. Torment Tides in Numenera, sorry. That was like a sequel to an old game, Planescape Torment, I believe. And then Wasteland, I don't know if you ever tried that.
No.
So they're not
It's meant to be
exactly
very good though. Wasteland.
Wasteland. I've never heard of it. Actually, I have heard of it.
It's
Role playing.
they done it's similar to like the old Fallout 1, 2.
Yes,
that
we were
kind of
talking
stuff.
about this
Yeah.
recently, weren't we?
No, apparently
Yes.
they are quite good games.
I'm a liar because I'm looking at the
Wasteland ones?
reviews here for Wasteland 3 was very good actually.
Yeah, so like it's
I'm going
interesting
off
to
the
see.
Bard's Tale more likely.
Probably it's interesting to see them come into like first person shooter kind of game. But I mean, from what we've seen from the trailer, you can't deny it doesn't look good.
Looks interesting.
Like
It's so
does.
on the nose of BioShock Infinite though. It was just like, right, come on, like fucking hell. If you think Lies of P is bad for Bloodborne, I was like, this is also fucking shocking. But are they did Microsoft purchase those guys?
Yeah.
Or are they just doing it as second party?
Yeah,
They
they
did
own
purchase
them.
an Exile. Interesting. So, Tim, did you ever give any BioShock games a go?
I did actually played a lot of BioShock Infinite and finished the story.
Harvey, what was
And
your
actually-
impression compared to for this? Did you notice the similarity?
I had the same impression as you. As soon as it appeared on, I went, "That's BioShock Infinite,"
Yeah.
and I was actually hoping for a BioShock Infinite 2.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
But no, it is very similar. Very,
It's
very
more when
similar.
they're doing the writing on the posters and stuff. It reminds me of the whole thing with BioShock Infinite with the Fox Populi, like it's kind of the Civil War going on. I was just like, oh, this is very, very similar. But to be fair, 10 years ago, fucking hell already, was BioShock Infinite. So we'll see. I just want new games that are at least trying to do something new or different rather than that's kind of where my problem goes with Lies of P that we're going to talk about soon. But, do something new instead. If they made something like BioShock, but it was in fucking space, for example, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You can get inspired by BioShock, but it's free for on Game Pass anyway, so we'll give it a blast and see how it is. So, other than that, more Flight Sim DLC. We'll not really touch on that unless any of you guys, I know me and Bobby don't really have much to add, but Tim, are you a Flight Sim nerd under the hood of it all?
No, definitely not. No, I did
Yeah.
try it once I first got the Xbox on the Game Pass, and it's fun for like 15 minutes or so, and then it gets a bit boring.
Did you fly to your house?
Did, yes.
I love how everyone
everybody did
plays
that.
this.
I
Everyone
think
gets a
everybody
Flight
did
Sim.
that.
Everyone gets this Flight Sim, can travel anywhere in the world. The first place they go is their fucking house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually kamikazed into the Maldives where I went last year, so that was cool. I found the wee island and all as well. It was very unreal. Hellblade 2. Now, Hellblade 1, did you ever give it a go, Tim? I know me and Bobby haven't really played too much, but we've tried it.
Haven't given it a go, no, and I actually did speak to Bobby during the week about this one, where as someone who doesn't know much about the Hellblade franchise or the games, the trailer actually left me rather confused
Yeah. It
Yeah.
would do.
as to
It would do. So basically, she has what is it? It's like psychosis, isn't it?
She's a schizo.
Yeah. So like she hears different voices in her head. So when you have, if you play the first game, it's worth playing. Like we're gonna do a playthrough of it before this one comes out. But pretty much, if you have your headphones on, you can hear the voices kind of coming in from every angle, like as if they're actually in your head. So she's kind of dealing with this as her journey. I have no idea what the fuck her journey's about or where she's going. I can't really remember. But the gameplay, there's not. It's more puzzly, isn't it? There's not too much combat in the first one.
Yeah, I wasn't big on it when I did try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair.
But I do I know it's short. I know it's like 5-6 hours. I do want to go and beat it before this one because the next one obviously graphically looks phenomenal. But for me, this trailer didn't do anything else apart from kind of reiterate that it looks good. I wanted to see what the moment gameplay was, what the combat's like in this one, how it's improved. Because now that Microsoft actually own them and they have the funding from Microsoft, I want to see what they can do with it. Because before they were just an indie developer, it was actually exclusive to PlayStation for like a year. So now they've got the big bucks, what have they done with the time and how have they spent the money on it?
Yeah. Imagine the whole time she had like cultures just whispering in her ears instead of like English voices. They're just fucking our wee Westies from Belfast, being like, right, mate, just fucking go down here, aye. You slut. What? Aye. But it's quite cool. But at the same time, it's
everybody's the same. It didn't show us the combat, didn't show us the actual game. Now that was gameplay, but it didn't show us the actual gameplay. If you know what I mean.
In-game kind of cinematic kind of thing going on.
Like I just want to see a bit of combat. And
show us the money.
Yeah.
Just bogging too, isn't she? I'm not a
A
fan.
lot of people are saying that all the Xbox women are stinking because they were on about the Fable
Aloy's
too.
stinking. Like who's that PlayStation got? Aloy.
Aloy.
Big Abby, she'd be up your street, wouldn't you? You love a big muscular woman to fucking beat you.
No.
And who else we got?
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
There you go.
Female characters.
So, yeah. Well, you have Chloe from Uncharted. You like her?
Oh yes, she's fantastic.
Tim,
you would like her.
Tim the Tap Man.
I don't think I've played that Uncharted.
Oh well, fantastic. Uncharted 4 is fantastic, but Bobby's too far gone now. Bobby, you'll have to just wait for the reboot. I've just accepted that Bobby can't go back and play other games, which is fine. You're not going to go back to Uncharted 1, like, so you've told me that, and I kind of understand it as well, Bobby. So don't worry, I don't expect you to play it. But Tim, if you don't mind playing older games, I would give it a go. You have a PS4. They're actually all 60 FPS on the PS4, the version. So you have that there. City Skylines. Any City Skyline fans?
No.
I wouldn't be a fan.
Okay. You played the first one, Bobby?
I don't think so. I wouldn't be a fan, but it looks like one of those games that you stick on. I think I said this when we were watching it, and 4 hours later, you haven't seen the tango because you're just building shit.
Do you ever get those types of games though? It's like you do that for 4 hours and then you don't touch for weeks and then you possibly never touch it again. You're just like, I just wasted 4 random hours in that day doing fucker all.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. Sims and everything, I do it all the time on it.
It looks interesting for what it is, but it wouldn't be something I would jump out to play.
The last thing I'll touch on in this, apart before we get into Starfield, is 33 Immortals, which looks like a combination of Hades and I'm going to say Diablo. Can I remember? I'm going off memory here. There's ability, so I'm going to say Diablo in that way, but it's more Hades than anything. But co-op and
like
up to 40,
Diablo
40
style, like
combat.
Combat, yeah, very very simple looking.
Isometric, like Hades as well, and Diablo. Co-op, looks very interesting. Looks cool. Would be one to give it a go. But apart from that, I have not much to add on it. Have any of you guys?
No. Is there anything, Tim, that stuck out to you that we haven't mentioned?
The only thing I was actually interested in our game was Payday 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I talked about this today. It's coming out soon.
Now, I actually haven't played the other games, but it just looks like a fun wee co-op shooter.
Yeah.
Now, graphically, it doesn't look anything as good as, say, a Battlefield or a Call of Duty, but if the gameplay is, enjoyable, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's one thing that we actually said, like looking wise, like it looks like a last gen game.
It does, yeah. It's still got that look about it.
Is the second one, is that on Game Pass at the minute?
I am having a wee look now, actually. It was.
I think it was at least.
I played it PC when it came out. I think I bought it and it was just very okay.
Tim's another.
There you are.
Is it on Game Pass?
Payday 2 is on Game Pass, yeah.
I should maybe give it a go then. Tim's like me and Kieran, he enjoys a good co-op game.
Do you still think I hate co-op, Bobby, or?
Oh yeah, you absolutely do.
I play Diablo co-op.
Very rarely though.
I mean, very rarely. I'm on all the
And
time.
you're not happy when you're doing it.
What do you mean not happy? You're not happy. You're sitting there complaining about it. We'll get into Diablo in a minute. We'll get into a minute. It has its issues.
Yeah.
So the last thing was shown was obviously got about 45 fucking minute demonstration on Starfield. Lots were shown. Looks fantastic, I think. Don't want to see anything more about it. To be fair, I think once
Don't
time,
need to.
don't need to. Yeah, I'm just kind of want to wait to the game. Tim, I'll let you lead the way since you're the guest. Obviously, you're not big. I take it you've not played Elder Scrolls. Have you ever played a Fallout game?
I haven't played Fallout, no.
So you're new
I
to.
I don't like the look of Fallout. I don't
Yeah,
like the
them
visuals
same.
of it.
Yeah, it's depressing as fuck and it's very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Starfield, I'll say it now before Bobby says it and sinks me in it. I didn't realize it was just a single player game. I was hoping it was multiplayer, or expected it to be multiplayer, should I say.
Right.
I was already had it planned out in my head about how we could approach different situations with our different various ships and things, and then Bobby crushed that idea when he says, "You do realize it's single player?" Like, oh,
That was last night. You were texting me like, I'm wondering
It
what way the
was,
multiplayer
yeah.
is going to work. And I was like, no, Tim, it's single player.
So
You bet like No
devastated.
Man's Sky. That's multiplayer.
Yeah, it's multiplayer.
That's literally like No Man's Sky seems to be what you're wanting from the gist of things there. Have you ever given it a go?
I did try it actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess multiplayer. You can do base building, all that
When
shit.
did you try? Because it's very, very much a different game now compared
Yeah.
to.
It has changed a lot over the years. Yeah. It'll be about a year ago I actually tried it because
Okay,
it was
nice
on
enough.
Game Pass.
What was your
And
impression?
It was all right. Yeah, it was different.
There you go.
Thing is,
But
though,
that-
you're not getting any story in that really. That's just
No,
literally
you're just floating
open
about and
sandbox, go and main stuff, find different planets, all that kind of.
yeah, do as
good
you
stuff.
wish.
Yeah. Whereas
Is there
this here-
combat in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Is there?
Yeah, like because I know there's like hostile aliens and stuff like that there, depending on what planet you go to.
But Starfield looks very good. I don't really want to say anything more about it. Like I said, so it's confirmed 30 FPS. Now, I will actually talk about it here. Me and Bobby had like back and forth during the week, which I don't really care about. I don't want to get into it anyway. But with yourself, Tim, 30 FPS, do you personally know the difference between 60 and 30? Like, what's your kind of idea on it? Do you see the difference? Do you understand the concept?
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me too much. If the 30 is done well, it doesn't bother me.
Thanks, Tim.
Sorry about that, Bobby.
Why are you
No,
saying
no.
wait there? Why are you saying thanks, Tim? I've
Because-
literally said that as well.
No.
I said at the start of the show, the
No.
30 doesn't bother me as long as
So-
it's done all right.
Well, that's what we were arguing about.
Okay.
I says the majority of average players, of normal consumers, do not know the difference and will not see the difference.
Right, 1 second. Did I say they won't see the difference? So what I actually said was the whole argument was Bobby says that most people will play a game on quality mode rather than performance. And my
Correct.
argument was most people don't even know the difference, that they're just playing it on the default, which half the time at the moment, or more than half the time, is performance mode.
Right.
And Bobby
why
says
we
no.
were arguing with this? What game was it you loaded up?
I admit it. One game.
The first game you load up, and
I said to you-
automatically set the quality.
But-
Quality.
Let's face it, most games are default to performance, and that's the truth from what we tried. So what I would say is the average consumer hasn't a fucking clue. They're not even looking at settings, they're just playing with pressing X, then going to quality or performance, I don't know. That's my verdict on it. Do I care enough? No, but the whole thing with Starfield was me is, do I play on an Xbox or do I play on PC? But I could do both. But I actually don't mind playing at 30 because I played Tears of the Kingdom at 30, happily enough.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby will not play it at 30. That's the thing. But the whole thing was, Tim, I was saying, should I just sell the Xbox? Do I need an Xbox now? Because I have a gaming PC. And there's no real need right now for an Xbox. So it's like, well, should I keep it or sell it?
Yeah.
So, Bobby, what do you think? Should it go? Should it stay or should it go?
For me, I won't get rid of mine. I bought it day one. I'm a weirdo. I will keep it regardless.
Maybe just keep it until the Quest 3 comes out and I want funding towards it. You know that?
Do I play
And then
it
I'll sell the
much
Quest 3.
recently? No. Within the past year, I've kind of moved over to mainly playing on PlayStation or PC, and that's just because every game that's on Game Pass, I'm getting a better experience on the PC, without a shadow of a doubt. If I was like Redfall, for perfect example, that was one game I was really looking forward to, and if I didn't have the PC, I wouldn't have played it. Couldn't have
Yeah.
played it. I couldn't like if the options there for me, 30 and 60, or 120. Sorry, even on the PC, I'm not gonna go to 30.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
I need to play the PC more as well. To be fair, like that's kind of the
No,
thing.
it's like even Tim for that nest on a smaller scale, but Tim has the Series S there still. It's like he has the choice to play on both. Like which one's he gonna play on? You know what I mean?
the Series S,
Seri-
Tim. You don't need it. Get a
Series
PC.
X. Do you know what I mean?
Get a PS5. Be
The
a
thing
pony.
is, Tim, if Tim had the room, he doesn't have the room for a PC. He would, and it would actually consume him because he's a big into his Age of Empires and all that kind of strategy
Oh
games.
yeah,
Like so,
PC
It's
would
right
end
for it
any
then.
social life I had.
yeah,
Yeah. Like
So-
I always, if you think like PlayStation or PC or Xbox, I would have always been gravitating towards PC. I loved my PC. I think
Mhm.
online's better on PC in terms of community and things. Just the way it is. It was always kind of like TeamSpeak, which used to be like Discord for your clan. There's a lot more people, and this was all before fucking Xbox Live was really what it is now, or anything like that. So, do love me some PC. We are going to be playing more PC. We're going to be playing some World of Warcraft, hopefully.
yeah.
But I think I'm going to do Starfield on the PC, mouse and keyboard, just to annoy you, Bobby. So you've written a fucking ton of things here. I'm not even going to recap it.
These are
If you
just
really are
yeah,
interested, watch it. Watch it.
yeah. These are
Watch the
just kind of
showcase.
points for when we're kind of going over the discussion. But as far as Starfield, I'm really excited. Playing big fan of Fallout and Elder Scrolls. I love the worlds. I love the stories that are told, the choices. I love choices. I love being an absolute bastard in games. If I've given the choice, so I'm expecting the same things from this game. Just being able to do what you want. And I think what was it? I actually took a screenshot of it earlier on my phone. It was in an interview that Todd Hard was doing, and there was like stuff happening in Starfield that he didn't even know that could happen.
Really?
So yeah,
That's pretty
so
cool.
let me get the wee quote here now. So he says, let's see, just a few weeks ago, I'd landed on one of the early planets, and this sandstorm blew through, and I went to run away from it. He says, and ships can randomly, once in a while, just randomly land. This is enemy ships, like the pirates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he says he's going through the sandstorm, the ship landed, and I get in this firefight, and I got onto the ship, and while I'm shooting down at the guys on the surface, on the planet from the ship took off into space. So now I'm in outer space on this ship, and I was just like, can this happen? I guess it can happen. So like there's
That's
cool
mad.
stuff like that there that's just happening in the world that he didn't realize, and then he's like, oh, this is actually this is cool. I didn't know actually that this could happen.
It's just the systems working basically under the.
Yeah, so like, understandably, why it's 30 FPS, I completely understand it because they're going to sacrifice a lot of visual fidelity to go to 60. And a game like this is doing so much. So, if you're stuck on an Xbox, like Tim, you've got an Xbox, I have no doubt you'll enjoy it. If it's a solid 30 FPS or close to it, you'll have a good time with it.
Most like the CPU bottleneck, I would say, other than anything, of that much. Because I think it was actually Digital Foundry said about it, but
Yeah.
it keeps there all the like Skyrim used to do it, where people used to hoard fucking like items in a room. If you remember this, people used to do it for a joke. It'll remember like all the games, and that's using a lot of fucking system memory in the background. So
Yeah.
it's very demanding on the system, like so. We knew it was gonna be 30. We said it was gonna be 30.
Yeah.
So moving on from there, we did go to watch they had the Ubisoft conference. I didn't watch anything of it. The only thing I've actually seen further than this is a bit of Avatar and some more Prince of Persia. But take it away, Bobby. So Star Wars Outlaws. What else have we learned about it?
So it is a single player open world game where
Right.
you're kind of like a scoundrel, and it's between
What
I
is
think
a scoundrel?
Han Solo
Oh,
kind of character.
okay. Yeah,
You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, single player, open world. You're a girl. Can't remember her name. You have like a sweet pet fucker instead of a robot.
I've seen people hyping that up.
Yeah, people's getting excited about that there. One thing that actually really excited me was you can actually fly from. This is something that I don't think you can do in Starfield, but you can fly from wherever you landed actually into space. So you
Oh,
go
that's cool.
through the clouds, you go through everything, and you're actually seeing, the clouds start to turn, or the sky start to turn from blue to black as you actually get into the,
Atmosphere.
the
Leaving the atmosphere.
leaving the atmosphere into the space. And then there was a bit where you're going up, and then it goes into the space, and all of a sudden there's a fucking Star Destroyer there, and there's shit going down. There's um, space combat, which actually looked quite good. So I wouldn't say I'm overly excited for it because I'm more of a Jedi and Sith man. Like I like having a lightsaber, but it definitely looks interesting in terms of the flying and stuff and the space battles.
I would just need to see more really to kind of make a decision. But
Yeah, you
massive or
if you
great.
watch the
I probably should watch that. You know,
yeah,
they're
if you
doing good
watch
to
that
watch.
there, you have an idea like of what it is, but it's interesting. It's massive. So I know we were kind of when we first seen the reveal on the Xbox show, we were kind of like, is it going to be multiplayer because it's them or whatever? But it's not single player, and it's between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Seems
what
like a
it's
bit
set
of a misstep there. You have a good team who does good at live service, not giving them another kind of go at it.
Yeah.
To make them put them on a single player. It's like everyone can, like lots of people can do single player games, like instead of obviously we find out from fucking PlayStation how many people struggle to do a live service game. Fucking Bungie's closing them all down, telling them to do it again.
Yeah.
Avatar. I did see a bit about this. Were you surprised at how the gameplay looked?
I'm really fucking excited for this one. Like
You're
really
excited for it?
Did
Right,
did you
okay.
see this one, Tim?
I did, and I'm also looking forward to this one.
Good.
And I didn't even ask Tim about Star Wars. Tim, did you see much about the Star Wars trailer as well?
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that. Yeah, who doesn't love a good Star Wars game?
Did you play Survivor yet?
I haven't played Survivor. I played, what was the previous one?
On Order. See, Survivor's a game that you'll do well waiting on anyway. That's a game like if you wait next year, you're going to get a far better experience than any of us got. So
it'll probably be on EA Play, so it'll be on Game Pass next year.
yeah, so that actually makes sense to wait. But the Avatar game looks very cool. So first person, yeah,
First person, think Far Cry, but Avatar.
for Avatar.
Yeah.
See, that's me sold
It's co-op
already on it.
Yeah, because you're a big Far Cry man, aren't you, Tim? You enjoy it.
I love Far Cry, yeah.
Yeah. So, from the trailer, like the gameplay looks good. It looks fun. It looks good. Obviously, comparing it to the movies, it doesn't. But because the movies are look absolutely fucking fantastic. I think the story. You're this fucking avatar. Obviously, you're a native avatar. You were born on Pandora, and you're kind of taken in by the Earth people. They leave.
Humans?
Yeah, they're Earth people. They're the humans.
You're a fucking retard.
Fucking Earth people. Jesus Christ.
People.
But you're frozen for like 14 or 15 years. And then you emerge out, and so you're kind of having to learn from the different tribes how to actually be, the Navi.
Okay.
So there's different tribes you go to, and as you go to each tribe, you're learning different things. So like the first one, I think you get the wee flying thing that you attach your fucking hair penis to.
Oh yeah, power penis.
Yeah.
Good one word.
That one, and then the next one you seen, you were kind of getting like a horse kind of thing, and other different stuff. There's ones that didn't show as well. So I'm really excited for it. It's co-op as well, so it'll be a good time.
Not for me. True, I'll play co-op. Fuck this.
Yeah, it'll not be for you.
Don't invite me. Be sexy in the OLED, won't it?
Oh, it will be. Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, Tim, you anything to add on the Avatar front?
No, just that I'm looking forward to it. Visually, it looks fantastic. Anything that's like a Far Cry game, if it plays anything like, say Far Cry 5, for example, can't wait.
Bobby,
a great
who's the
game.
team behind it?
Oh God, now you're asking. Let me.
Like, I wonder what studio. Like, obviously Ubisoft.
I'm gonna do it now here.
That might be the. Let's have a look. Avatar game. I wonder who the guys who developed it. Because obviously, what was their last game?
Pandora.
Fuck! Please don't be Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm joking, by the way. There's no way it'd be that quick. It's probably gonna be.
Massive.
Is it?
Yeah. They must have 2 teams.
Yeah, they must have.
I thought it was massive, but I didn't want to say because I knew they were doing the Star Wars one.
Weird, 2 teams, massive.
Mhm.
When did they ever split up like
Massive
that?
Entertainment.
Interesting.
Does that do anything for you?
It depends which one. Which one's doing Star Wars and which one's doing this.
Yeah.
Like the Division's a good live service game, but I wouldn't let sit and go, oh, these guys know how to make a good story. The Division's a bit naff, to be honest, but
I'm
yeah, it's
excited
Avatar,
for
you
this,
got the
man.
lores there, so just do something good.
I love Avatar. I love the movies. So, I haven't played Far Cry in a while. I think my last one was maybe 4, but very excited for it.
We were talking about how weird it was though, the guys like we were talking about it on the Banter Room podcast when done that, about him like just as a Navy, just a Navy SEAL or whatever he fucking is, to go in and just kind of learn about them. He starts banging them all.
Aye.
It's
Was a
fucking
bit
bizarre when you
weird.
think about it. He just starts fucking all these blue people.
Having
Like,
babies.
who would ever look at that and be like, yeah, aye. Yeah, so we've got that. Now, my game of the year already, one I'm fucking hugely hyped about. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It's supposed to be a Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm.
Gameplay style, fast paced. Looks like it has good combat, plus good platforming. So think about Metroid Dread, but with platforming sections, Bobby.
Do you know what
And
else it
that's
has?
enough. What?
Time. Time elements.
I've seen that. Yeah, it's basically you've gotten. You're not actually playing as the fucking prince as well.
So you can
You're
freeze time
basically. Yeah.
and
And you have like.
manipulate it to make like two of you and move you back and stuff like that there if you're about to get hit and you set like a time thing like just to the left side of the screen, you can rewind that there and you appear and you know you don't get hit and things like that. You can kind of use that for combat as well.
So the reason you should be hyped about this is the team behind it. Um, made. I don't know if you've ever played it. Did you ever play the Rayman Origins and Legends games?
I played one on
Neither.
the Xbox One.
Yeah, they came out. So Rayman Origins, I ended up playing it. It must have been 2012, 11. I actually played it on Vita. Those guys are unreal. So they had done Origins, they done Zombie U, Rayman Legends, they done Valiant Hearts, if you remember that, and then obviously they've now done Prince of Persia. So they know how to make like Rayman Legends is a fantastic game. So I'm just so fucking hyped that it's their next game. It's a Metroidvania, which is right up my alley, and 60 FPS on the Switch as well, which is gonna be nice. Tim, you probably hear in the podcast. Obviously, I love Metroidvanias and got Bobby to start playing. He played
Metroid.
Metroid Dread, and he loved it. Any familiarity with Metroidvanias yourself?
No, but I have a feeling I should probably try them.
Ori and the Blind Forest, 1 and 2,
Yep,
phenomenal ones
Game
actually.
Pass.
Second's better, but they're fantastic on Game Pass and they're
Really,
fucking gorgeous.
really good lookers. Like
Really good looking. Like it's probably Xbox's best game, I would say. Metroid or Ori 2. From what I even tried of it, I need to play it, but it's like should have played it on the Switch or what? That's kind of where my head's at. So that's next year, start of next year. So
starting
quite a
next
way
year,
out.
yeah.
And then Bobby, I'll let you do the 1-2 punch. Mirage and Nexus. Look, I know you would have read up on them. Mirage is obviously the shorter game, bit more akin to the older ones. I
Yeah.
didn't see anything on Nexus. Fill me in.
So, don't really need to touch too much on Mirage. Tim, did you like the old Assassin's Creed? Were you into the new Assassin's Creeds?
I actually preferred the older ones.
Right.
The second one was my favorite.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's favorite. So this is more like the older style. It's not big, massive open world. It's like the size. I think they said it's like the size of Unity. So I'm very much down for it. I love the older style. I think them new ones. Like I played Origins, played a wee bit of Odyssey. I beat Origins, which was the Egypt one. Played a wee bit of Odyssey, and then it was just too big for me, and I don't really have time for fucking big ass games like that anymore. To be honest.
It's big, but it hasn't got the game. I don't think it has the gameplay to back it up almost.
It's
Well,
not
no,
like-
the gameplay was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, the gameplay's good. It's just the story's
Rip.
just far more tighter, and it's
You know what
way
the problem
better.
was, well, Bobby? It's built like a live service game.
Yeah, the one
Like, there's a lot of fucking shit to do that you would find in like an MMO, to be honest with you, when I played it.
yeah,
It's just to pad it out.
I'm just so glad they're going back to this old style, and I hope I think they are going to do it where they're going to have this kind of style kind of going forward, and also, you know, if you want the big beefy open world, it's still going to be there because I think the
Yeah.
next one is going to be that Japan one.
Interesting. So what's Nexus then?
So
Obviously, we know what
Nexus
Mirage is.
VR.
Oh, yes, I know
So
about
it's
that.
a VR. You've got 3 protagonists: Ezio, Cassandra,
Quest or
and
VR
Connor.
2 or both?
I don't have the. Let me see. I don't know if the nights. MetaQuest 2.
Yeah, MetaQuest 2. I knew it was that. I didn't know it was going to
Yeah.
be PSVR 2.
So it's just it's like they have like wee stories and stuff like that there. It doesn't really. I don't know. VR doesn't really appeal to me. So
Not for those types of games. Sorry
Not-
for fucking
yeah,
table
not for
tennis,
that
but I don't want
there.
to run about as fucking
yeah. So
Ezio.
3 protagonists that you know: Ezio, Cassandra's from Odyssey, and Connor's from Assassin's Creed 3. He's like the wee Indian boy.
Racist.
So, well, that's what he is. He's fucking Indian. You know, the ones that like dance around the fire.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Did you ever hear Bobby's racist? No, you didn't. I cut it out of the podcast, didn't I? Your racist rant about
I don't have any racist friends.
the Hogwarts. You didn't pick the black girl because she was annoying.
No, I did pick her by mistake.
Oh, sorry, but
And
she
so-
annoyed you because
yeah,
she was
because
black.
it was like an overly African voice.
Like what?
Like, I'm not going to do it.
Okay. Well, okay then. Something
This
the racists
last
would
one
say.
is for Tim. It's not for me. It's for Tim
Oh,
on the
oh,
list.
The Crew Motorboat Fest.
Yeah, that's one for Tim to tackle.
basically the Forza Horizon copy
Mm-hmm.
or
More
what it looks like.
online, isn't it though? Than for is it more online? The Crew's kind of like. Is the Crew more like Forza Horizon, or is it not even more online? Kind of like an
And
MMO of cars.
the crew is more like Horizon, like open world. Um, this one's set in Hawaii, which is a good setting. But just looking at it straight away, you think this is a copy of Forza Horizon.
Horizon.
Yeah, because if your checkpoint races are even done the same way, you've got a festival. So that's what Horizon's built around, is all their festivals.
Mm-hmm.
It just looked like a copy of Horizon, and that put me off a wee bit on it.
So you're not excited?
Because it's probably not going to be as good. Let's be honest.
No, it's not. But as a comment I saw online was, if you don't have an Xbox, you don't have a PC, you can't play Horizon. Well, this is going to be your alternative
It's a good point. To be
because
fair,
it's
actually.
just going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's something we touched on before when we were kind of going back and forth on the whole Gran Turismo Horizon. Was like that's what PlayStation's missing. It's missing a Gran Turismo Horizon, if you know what I mean. Something that can bring everybody in, the people that aren't in super nerdy into cars, because
Drive
Horizon's
Club.
very much like anybody can play it and pick it up and play it and just enjoy it and have fun with
I was going to be Drive Club, by the way. Fuck, do you remember that?
it.
Evolution, wasn't it? Shut them down.
What was the other one? Midnight Club. It was Rockstar.
Oh,
That was
Midnight Club was a
see
good
that
game.
that reminds me of Xbox more. Midnight Club.
Does it?
Don't know why. I've probably just
PS2.
seen it. I think I've seen it. I just have a visualization of going to someone's house and I had it on Xbox, and that's where it reminds me of. Yeah. So you're not really hyped for that, but that's basically it for all the kind of show news of obviously what's happened in Xbox and Ubisoft. So really, it's kind of just a few drops throughout the week that a few bits of news came out. What we'll cover now, and then obviously what we've been playing. So we've got news here. PlayStation's beat Xbox to the cloud, according to Bobby here.
Yep.
Sony revealed that it is expanding the feature set of PS Premium to include not only PS5 games from Sony's Xbox Game Pass like game catalog, but additionally, players will be able to stream supported digital titles that they own for the first time. So Sony actually says, first off, we have very exciting news for PS Plus Premium members. We're currently testing cloud streaming for supported PS5 games. This includes PS5 titles from the PS Plus games catalog and game trials, as well as supported digital PS5 titles that players own. So Microsoft announced a fairly long time ago that it plans to allow Xbox gamers to stream digital games from their own servers via the cloud, but the capability has yet to materialize. So basically, if you own a game, even though if it's not on PS Premium,
Mm-hmm.
you can still then stream it.
But
Correct?
you
But-
have to have premium.
But you have to have Premium.
Yeah. So it's still locked behind that paywall.
Cool function though, because but to be fair, if it was me, the whole thing with Game Pass, like I was doing it the other week, I was just streaming games instead of downloading to see, a quick 10 minutes to see if I like it.
Uh-huh.
If it is in my library, I've most likely bought it because I know I like it, so I would just be wanting to download it anyway.
Yeah.
Eventually, do you know what I mean? Like I'm not. I don't
It's
know.
an
Maybe.
option. Like Tim, you probably used the cloud more than any of us over the
Yeah.
last like 2 years. He used it quite a lot for all the Game Pass stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, I downloaded actually very little when I had the S. Really just the games that I played the most,
Mm-hmm.
like Horizon 5, for example, had downloaded. But everything else I streamed, and even
It's
streamed
cool,
while
like.
playing online. It's fantastic. And
Mhm.
like you say, you can hop into a game, like say you're not 100% sold on it. Just oh, hop in and try it. Rather than having to download it, install a disc, all that carry on,
100%.
you can just click on it and you're in. And you
Yeah,
can
I was
have it,
given it like 10 minutes ago, and I must have played 7 games, and it was like, what's the first 5 I get off it? I'm very much Tim where I'll play a game even if I don't like it to give it a good solid like 4 to 5 hours or whatever, which probably isn't the right thing because most of the time if I don't like it at the start, I end up not liking it anyway. But I was able to bash out a load with the Game Pass. So the whole point I'm making there though is if you own the game in the library, I already most likely know that I like it, whereas I'm more likely to try it on things that I don't own.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, for someone like Tim, it makes sense. So, No, that's cool. So you basically were getting it plays things in the like X capability, doesn't it? It'll stream
Yeah,
like 60
they're
FPS and
running
stuff.
off Series X's essentially in the
Interesting.
servers. That's why there's actually a shortage of Series X at the minute. It's because they're pumping so many of them into the cloud servers.
Imagine the PC. You got Starfield is 60 on there.
One thing I will
That-
say about the actual even remote play on the PlayStation, it's really really good. It's the complete opposite. It uses upload speed rather than download.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Interesting.
know what that does, but it makes it work really well. I've played a good bit of Diablo. I actually done pretty much all Act 5 on it, which is probably the longest act.
What you played on your phone?
On my phone
Backbone?
with the Backbone, and it was fantastic. I was downstairs. My PlayStation's 3 flights up, so that
That's
worked
pretty
really
cool.
well. So it's an option for people. Like there's people that's gonna maybe, I don't know, have no room or whatever on their console, or they just want to fire something up for a while if they own the game. It's there. That's an option. More options.
See,
the
this
better,
is why
essentially.
this is why having Xbox and PlayStation around together is good, because I'll tell you what, if Xbox never came out with that cloud streaming,
Oh, it wouldn't have happened.
not to say PlayStation actually bought, I
Well,
forget the name of them, they bought
PlayStation,
cloud streaming
They came
years
out
ago.
first.
Yeah, they bought a company from back who was doing it in like 2010. I remember playing it on PC. Whoever the company before PlayStation purchased it. But you wouldn't get stuff like this where they're trying to one up almost by
Yeah.
saying, well, we'll allow it on this side of things where the games you own, sorry. Like that's what I mean, that competitiveness between the two companies, it just benefits the end consumer essentially. Kieran just wants to have the PlayStation, he'll not admit it, but it's why you need competition. Simple as that. More news. Outriders developer People Can Fly has partnered with Microsoft to develop a new AAA Xbox game. Basically, it looks like a new Xbox exclusive is coming in the future, and announced on People Can Fly's website. The Outriders dev confirmed it's entered into a new publishing agreement for a new game, codenamed Project Maverick. According to People Can Fly, the total production for the game is between 30 to 50 million, depending on the new game. Will be performed under development of the new game will be performed under the work for hire model, and it's based on the IP rights owned by the publisher.
Yeah.
So, interesting. The IP rights owned by the publisher.
Yeah. So
So it's a
something they have
what?
already.
Now, People Can Fly have made. They're the guys that made
Gears
Judgment. Yeah.
And Bulletstorm.
And Outriders. So it's all a third-person style game, isn't it?
Mhm,
Bulletstorm like that, is it? I've never played Bulletstorm.
No, Bulletstorm's
Fable?
first person,
I was thinking for some fucking reason.
isn't it? Tim, do you play Bulletstorm?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's first person.
Bulletstorm's first person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why was
That
I
was
thinking
great.
Fable? Right. So what do I think it's going to be? Is it going to be like a Gears spin-off? Is it
So
30 to 50 million is not a lot.
people's thinking Gears spin off, but I don't know. It would honestly don't know. See, people saying because it's Maverick, it's related to flying. So people's coming out with all kinds of weird stuff like Crimson Skies.
Fuck. I've heard of it, never played it. But no,
But you would imagine Gears, because they've done a Gears before, they've done that kind of style, like Outriders, very Gears like. So it would make sense to kind of fill that void, because we're waiting on Gears 6 as well. God knows this is maybe like 4 or 5 years out, but between Gears 6 and whatever the next mainline one is, whether it's going to be a reboot or something like that there, I'd be happy enough for another Gears, someone else to do it. I think that's what Xbox need, is to kind of give their IP out to other people as well, and so we're not waiting 10 years, fucking 15 years for a Fallout, you know?
Perhaps have a Gears collection. 30 to 50 million is not a lot.
It's not.
So maybe it doesn't strike a brand new game.
It's interesting.
Like if I would actually more think it's going to be either a remaster or a reboot, just something that's not going to be too much undertaken.
It's just,
30
the
to
fact
50
that
million. And
it's it's stuff that they own already, so you're trying to think what kind of suits them, and the only real
Gears.
one you can think of is Gears, isn't it? Essentially,
yeah, like
from their
Outriders,
playstyle. But
literally
then
so
it
inspired
could
by
be
Gears,
something
but I
completely
played.
different. Playground's doing Fable, and they've done Forza Horizon.
Yeah,
You know,
interesting. Well, time will tell on that one. Tim, as you are the guest, we'll let you lead the way. So what we typically do, obviously, anyone who hasn't listened, we'll get into what we've been playing. Me and Bobby have a few things to break down this week. But yourself, Tim, what have you been up to? What have you been playing? Anything interesting?
I have been playing Vampire Survivors again.
Okay, very good
That's
game.
Fantastic game. Really enjoy it. It was actually Bobby put me onto it.
So it was by proxy me who put you onto it?
Niall put me onto it.
Oh, was it? Right.
You're welcome.
Oh, absolutely fantastic game. Love it.
Addictive game.
Addictive, definitely. It's actually Bobby. What did you text me? Was it Tuesday?
I think it
To
was
say
because
there
they
was new
announced.
achievements.
Yeah, new achievements because Tim's got all the achievements for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
So
it's like, here we go again, back in it.
I was talking
Get the
about
new
Vampire
ones.
Survivors recently. Me and Bobby were playing Diablo, and I was saying that in Diablo, there's like a fucking horde of enemies that I can spin into, but there's no kind of like feedback on the controller. And I was like, oh, Vampire Survivors does it so nicely where you are going through a horde of enemies and you feel the feedback. I don't know, will I play it on a Steam Deck? Is there much feedback on the Xbox controller?
There's a bit, yeah.
Well, whatever way they would in Steam Deck done it, it
More
was like a
noticeable when
really
you've.
fucking. Mm-hmm.
It's more noticeable when you're higher up the levels and there's just an absolute horde around you.
I always remember the
Um,
axe kind of falling on them, and you used to get the
Big
feedback on
axe,
the.
yeah.
It was just nice, but I feel like that was missing from Diablo.
I
So,
never picked the axe.
oh, you are. What do you use? The Bible?
No, I actually use pentagram. Again, it was Bobby put me on the pentagram.
Yeah, that's a
There you
good
are.
one.
But in the DLC, the second paid DLC that came out, they released new characters and released new weapons. And I'm gonna butcher it because I can never remember the three. It's Spell String, Spell Storm, and Spell Strike. I think you call the three.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get all three and max out the level, then the three weapons evolve into one really powerful weapon, and it's just absolutely unbelievable. So I'd run with it, pentagram, garlic, knife. Knife has always been a favorite
Oh,
from the
nice,
start.
good. Garlic as well.
Yeah,
Can't go wrong with them.
can't go wrong, garlic. What is Silverwind was one that came in the first DLC. It's actually a fantastic one too. So yeah, we have them together, and you're pretty unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. So the developer big fan of Castlevania. Like the style of that looks like the older Castlevania games. Obviously, it's a Metroidvania as well, Castlevania games. So you probably would like all those type of games. Like I know if you just like games that are just kind of gameplay driven, you should definitely give some Metroidvanias a go. But Vampire Survivors is great. I think everyone fucking agrees on
Oh,
that.
it's
It's
class.
fantastic.
That's something that's so simple. You just have a bit of fun with. I even got the kids playing it for a while too.
Mm-hmm. I need to go back to it because I only played a wee bit in the Steam Deck, and obviously it's on Game Pass as well. But it's on your phone as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on your phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I might play it and play it on
Only
fucking.
place it's not is PlayStation.
What's it like on the phone?
That's good. That's just like it's not really obviously graphically demanding, so it performs really well.
No, I know what. I might give it a blast and play it on the plane if I'm bored. But
Yeah.
I'm balls deep in the X Files. That's what I'm going to start watching on the plane. Watched episode one last night. It was fantastic. Anything else, Tim? Or is it just really Vampire Survivors that you're spending your time on? Is there anything that you're working through?
No, I wanted to jump back on it and get those achievements.
Yeah.
But I was trying the car simulator game,
Oh, car
car
mechanic.
mechanic simulator game. Sorry, that was came to Game Pass.
What's that
How was
like?
that?
So actually very good. It's quite relaxing, quite chilled. Um, really enjoyed it so far. It's the actual the elements of the car and how you take pieces off and add new bits and whatnot is very well done.
Mm-hmm.
They've obviously come from a background of working on vehicles or at least looked at that and went, how can we implement this into a game? And some nice touches on it. So, for example, say you want to change a radiator in a car. If you don't drain the fluid from it, fluid will go everywhere and you'll have to pay to have it cleaned up type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or vice versa. Say you remove an oil filter without draining the oil first. Nice wee touches like that.
No,
But
I'm useless with cars. So if I start playing it, will I be able
Does it
to
teach you that?
service my
oh,
car?
That's the thing because with
It may.
PC building simulator, I played a lot of it, and it actually did teach me how to build a computer, and I actually did build my own computer from it. And it was like wee small things. If oh fuck, I forgot to put thermal paste on the CPU, and you
I
burn it
mean,
up.
wee things.
You
Wee
know,
things.
well,
I
I know
literally
it's
wreck your CPU.
I know, but you know stuff like that. There, when you're playing it, you don't really know. You're like, oh fuck, I forgot to put
Oh,
fucking thermal paste on. But it
I would
does
never.
teach you all that kind of stuff.
I was like, oh fuck, my thermal paste. It's literally like gonna fucking ruin your whole CPU.
Yeah, we're burning it all up.
Um,
But I found that it actually it did teach me.
Yeah,
how to
that's
build
what
a
I mean. It's
computer.
probably going to teach you how to fucking, well, at least give you an idea of what to, not the fucking how to fix it. I'm guessing it lets you kind of assume that, oh, if I'm doing this, I need to be wary of this. Is that the way it works, Tim?
Pretty much, yeah. It doesn't go into like the full detail of a car or vehicle, whatever is on
Right.
it. Like you don't go into your whole wire and your electronics and all carry on. It's simplified, so you'll have your braking elements, your suspension elements, your engine. Now, there's actually a lot of detail in the engine,
Mm-hmm.
and like so you can go in and do a time belt change on a vehicle, and just like a real car, rather than just clicking on the game and saying, change the time belt, you have to remove each individual part as if you were doing it in real life. So if it was blocked by a timing cover, you have to take the timing cover off first. If there's something in the way of that cover, you have to take it off first. So very well done that way, but also done in a way that you can't get stuck or you can't get lost. It's highlighted really well.
Right.
So it's not like you'll get to a point where you can't put it back together and that's just it. No,
Yeah.
you'll always be able to finish it. Very good that way.
Maybe give it a blast. What were you up for playing it?
I would try it. I do like the kind of simulators, the kind of things they got there. I absolutely loved PC building simulator. I would actually like to get the second one. But does it do it like, because PC simulator done it where like you're earning money and you're getting jobs in? Is that the way the car one works?
Yes, yeah, that's the way
Yeah.
it's done. So there's like a
Loop.
campaign sort of story related cars which give you more XP and more money, or you can just take in average everyday orders.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be anything from topping up washer fluid in one vehicle to doing a brake overhaul in the next one.
Yeah.
And then as you level up, they get progressively more difficult or new things are added. So I was finding at the start all I was getting was brakes, brakes and oil changes.
Yeah.
After that, I'm now getting suspension. Now I'm getting
It gets more complex.
engine related things.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the way the PC one done. It was quite good, and then you got so many jobs, and you could actually decline them or take them on depending on what they were. Because there's ones I was doing like, oh, replace the fucking CPU. And I was like, nah, I can't be asked for that.
Yeah, just send on its way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can also go to a junkyard in it, and if you have enough money, buy an old scrapper of a car
Oh, okay.
and bring it back to your garage and
Do it up.
yeah, refurbish it, do it up, sell it on, make money, or there's a wee test track and you can take it out for a lap or two and
There's
I
racing
was
and
actually
everything in it.
I don't think you can actually race in it. You can just do like a time trial around the track.
There's actual driving in it.
Yeah,
That's
you
cool.
can drive it.
Very nifty.
The junkyard's fun because every time you go to the junkyard, it could be something different in it. So I was walking around the junkyard and there was one of the big American style muscle cars. The Plymouth with a big massive wild wing on the rear of it. And I couldn't afford it. I was raging. Absolutely gutted. So I had to make do and bought what is essentially a Volkswagen Golf. So that's what I'm doing up in the game at the moment.
There you are.
Interesting.
Well, Bobby played Hentai World and he thought that was like a simulation, so he's just a fucking obsessed with drawing hentai characters now, aren't you, Bobby?
That was a good game.
Now, Tim, while I have you here, Bobby completed Hentai World, a short 1 hour game.
Puzzle game.
Would you complete it? Would you count it form as a game completed this year when we were all doing like game completion lists, or would you say it doesn't count?
I'd have to agree with Bobby and say it counts because I play those kind of games. I haven't played that
Hentai
one.
World?
I haven't played that one now, but now I do play silly wee games as well. Wee simple completions. Yeah, and I count them as a completed game. So yeah, I have to agree with Bobby on that one.
There we go.
We'll give it. We'll let it go to anyone who's listening. It could be an independent vote to themselves
Still
of what
got
they think.
Hentai Uni to play as well.
So we're all kind of like saying who can complete the most, and Bobby's just playing these dingy ones.
Well,
You
it
think that
wasn't really
counts?
who can complete the most. It was just everybody's keeping track. If it was who can complete the most, then I'll fire up loads of stuff. Loads of wee
I am bread 1, 2, 4, and 7.
I am Mayo, isn't it? It was a
Mayo,
favourite
whatever.
of yours.
Yeah, I've done 1, 2, and 3 on that platinum.
Bobby does kind of state that he is a better Xbox gamer than you because he has more achievements. Do you?
Ah, here we go.
Bobby's competitive, and he doesn't really.
Do
He
you know
just
what?
gets very competitive with nothing.
I always had the higher gamer score out of all my friends, and then I kind of got speaking to Tim around 2020, 2021, and around that kind of.
It would have been, yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of around that there time. And I noticed his gamer score was higher than mine significantly. It was like 50,000 points higher, maybe even a wee bit more. So that was when, if I go onto that True Achievements website, you can actually see the growth in my achievements like start to skyrocket then, because I'm determined just to get ahead of them.
Because you're playing easy achievements, though.
I don't
You're
care.
cheating your way there.
That's what achievement hunting's all about.
I
Paw Patrol,
don't know.
Peppa Pig.
What? Oh,
That's the kind of games we
Yeah,
play.
I admit I've played them, yeah.
Yeah.
say,
But I'm just looking back here, Bobby. You played something last month. I was doing well last month, and then you came out like last week of the month and played something completely ridiculous and got huge gamer score just to beat me again.
Do you know why that was actually? It was a friend of mine, Mark, had actually started doing it now. He does. I don't really speak to him too much now, but he'll every so often in a month he'll see me maybe get a couple of 1,000 gamer score like out there, and I'll just look at it and he'll be a couple of thousand ahead of me. And I know he's went and played something shit just to kind of beat me. And I actually seen him down when I was collecting the kids from school, and he says to me, "Did you see my gamer score?" So I knew that's what he was at. So I went, and that's why actually when I went and played them shitty games just to get ahead of him, and I got ahead of him by like 3,000. And then on the last day, like literally before midnight, he went and played another one just to beat me that month.
lads,
He texted me
you
the
just
next
want to
day.
compete properly. Play a game, race each other, do something. Fuck me, gamer scores. You can just
It's
play
addictive.
shitty games.
It's addictive.
I could see it being addictive, but I can also see it being extremely pointless in the grand scheme of things. You're playing Peppa Pig fucking world.
Yeah.
I'm sure you still want to play Peppa Pig world, and you'd probably rather play something good.
Some of them Paw Patrol games we've played are absolutely brutal.
Oh fuck
Oh.
me! I've tried them with Logan. Never mind fucking myself. I couldn't do it. I bet you right now, Bobby probably gets his son, pays his son to play some of these games. Am I right?
I actually done them once myself.
Have
Unfortunately.
you ever paid your child to play a game so you can get gamer score?
You've paid them to do Fortnite,
No,
haven't you? To
no,
get
just
the
Fortnite. I've done them, paid them to do that. To get me my challenges. There's like challenges. Some seasons you get like skins and things like that there where you have to do challenges for. I would get them to do that.
Guess you have them doing your altars Lilith as well for you.
I should.
Well, we may as well get into that. So me and Bobby are playing Diablo still. Bobby's finished the campaign finally, caught up. Bobby, we're in a weird situation with it right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're in an endless grind for the sake of nothing. Tim, you've never played Diablo. I think I've heard Bobby did try and say to you about maybe playing it. You were slightly interested, is that right?
I've never played a Diablo game, but this one does look good. It does
It's
look
very
appealing.
good.
It looks like something I could lose a lot of time in.
Yeah.
The issue that we're having is it's more. So I played MMOs in the past, 14 WoW. Usually, what you have at the end of those is you have a grind, and then at the end you have dungeons that go to harder dungeons, and then we go to raids, and they're all kind of usually they are tailored content. So basically, the dungeons are all designed a certain way. They're all they're crafted in a certain way. What you find with Diablo, a lot of it is I'm going to forget the word right now, Bobby. A procedurally generated.
Yeah.
So they're all quite. I'll give you an example. I can always remember one of the first World of Warcraft dungeons, and actually most that I think of, I can remember. Can't remember any really of the dungeons in Diablo because they're all quite similar. They all blend in a way, so they're not very rememberable. But the problem that we're having is we're grinding to get stronger, and they're scaling. So you're always fighting enemies your level. So even though you're getting stronger, so the enemies, so you never actually feel like you're progressing. And it's just a fucking huge grind at the moment. It's enjoyable to play, but then sometimes not so much.
That's a big issue for me because like before I knew any of that there, I went and done we were doing some dungeons at the start when we first started, before we even started, like properly Act 1. And I seen the Act 1 there was like 3 missions for it, and it was like level 5 you need to be or whatever, and level 10 for one of them. I was like, oh, happy days, I'm gonna do some dungeons here. I'm level 20. I'm gonna blitz through this campaign here. And I looked, and then the campaign levels have went up. So essentially, like you says, you're getting stronger, you're leveling up, but you're not feeling the power of it. You're not feeling that kind of rush of going and just being OP and racking everybody, which is that's kind of what you do play for. You're like, I want to get really overpowered here so that I can go and just molest everybody, but you can't do it in this game.
Well, that's the thing. You can, depending on your gear, because
it's a lot of work though.
But it's a lot of work, and then for what? Because I obviously think I obviously wanted more of an MMO aspect, whereas the way the seasons work in this is every season your character, once a season's done, your character he leaves the seasonal content, you can still have that character in a normal game, but the seasons start fresh.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're always chasing something, but you're always chasing a season. So there's no real kind of point in it, the grand scheme of things. Whereas if you have a character in WoW, for example, you could have a character from WoW in 2004 and have that same character today in retail, and all that stuff that you've done is with your character. It's all matters, and you're kind of always going towards something.
Yeah.
Whereas at the moment, all we're going towards is a grind to do the same kind of content that we're doing, which isn't very appealing. So I don't know. Are you going to stop? Like, I don't want to. I don't think I'll stop it, but I think it's going to be one that I'm going to just jump on and off.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to put as much time in as what I was planning to, really, because, like you says, there's no real reward at the end of it. We're not being rewarded by like a big massive raid at the end of it, where our power level is going to show. We're just essentially leveling up to do better dungeons, to get better gear, to do it again.
I think there's just a few things as well. They announced yesterday is like every season you don't need to get all the renown. I think like 2 tiers of renowns there. I think the map isn't fully shown as well again. You think you have to, some parts are or some shit. So it's gonna be like you're starting fresh again. It's just gonna be like, who wants to really go and start the whole thing again or do the story content again? Do you know what I mean?
Not me.
So I think what I wanted was more like World of Warcraft, and that's kind of why me and you and Kieran are like, why don't we just go to WoW and probably give it a go? Because I think if you like Diablo, that concept, you'll like WoW, but WoW is more meaningful as well in terms of what you're doing and what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So we'll give that a blast. So other than that, like that's really all it is kind of with Diablo. We're just kind of like meh.
Good game. Great game. Like 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah. It's just kind of
just missing that kind of end game content for me.
I think they will bring raids out. They're supposed to Diablo Immortal has raids.
I think they will. But then how far is that away? That's what these live service games kind of, you're always wanting more, and this is a prime example of it.
And you always feel like it's good because we're right at the base of it. Whereas if we stop, we're kind of falling out of it. And usually those people who stay, like look at the people who stay with Destiny, they're in it. You know what I mean? Whereas for a new person to go to that, it's very hard to get into it now. So you're kind of risking that, but at the same time, like there's quality of life changes now that's being made, but they're not going to be until another 2 seasons, I've said. Whereas like the gem purse, so you know what I mean. So it's almost like we're probably best just leaving it now and maybe jumping in a few seasons when there's a lot more content, and it's just a lot more patched to what players want. I think it's probably going to be better in about 6 months anyway, and you can just jump into the new season. Do you know what I mean? So you're not missing out by not playing it really at the moment.
The first season comes mid-July, isn't it?
Yeah, so probably season 3 would be probably the best one to jump in. Try maybe season 2.
Battle Pass because I bought the £90 version, so I'll be hopping in like anyway to see what it's all about.
I'd probably play another character as well just to change it up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have that, and it's a bit interesting. So yeah, I'll probably go back to it. But I'm away obviously, and then we've got Fantasy 16, which we'll touch on in a second. So if it comes to Game Pass anyway, Tim, there you go. You can play away.
What I would say, Tim, is I would try Minecraft Dungeons.
It's on Battle or Game Pass, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It was my first Diablo, if that's what you want to call it. It's very much like it. I actually prefer it. I think it's better. Give it a go. It's fantastic. I can get you leveled up as well. I'm like level 100 and something, so I can get you leveled up the ranks quite fast. It's really fun. I got the 1,000 gamer score on it. One thing I just touching on gamer score briefly here. Do you know the way PlayStation have it where you have a platinum at the end? But
yeah,
if there's DLC that comes out, that's a separate list. So it's in the game, but it's a separate list, so you can actually see what you need. If you still haven't got the platinum or the 1,000 Gs, you can still see that there. Whereas Xbox, it just joins it all in together, so you don't know actually what the original 1,000 G was, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the likes of that DLC there for that Vampires virus, it just gets added in. Whereas like if it was separate and say you don't have the original 1,000 G, you can't really tell the difference from the part of it. So that's the only issue I actually have. Just briefly touching on achievements.
It's the pros and cons of achievements and trophies, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I like achievements because you have a score against it.
Yeah.
But trophies, like you have said there, you can complete a game and get a platinum to show you've completed the game.
Yeah, that's one thing.
And then when the DLC comes along, doesn't take away that platinum. Like you've still completed that game.
Yeah, it's a separate list. So if you click on, say, say God of War Ragnarok, I have the platinum for it. If I click on it, and there's DLC that comes out, it'll be just separate beside it, so it'll not be in the original or platinum trophy list, which is good because it just separates it. Because if you don't have the platinum, then you still know what you need to get for it. Whereas in Xbox, it's just all added in at once, so you can never really, without having to Google, you don't know what that original 1000G was.
It would be something I would like to see Xbox do.
Yeah, definitely. Just give like just separate it and give something. Give a fucking a diamond or some stupid shit like that there for every game completed, so you can see, oh, I have fucking 300 diamonds. So that means people know that I've got the full 1000 gamer score in 300 games.
I think the one that stands out for me is it's actually the first Forza Horizon. I have 1,000 gamer score in that game, but I haven't completed it because I have
okay.
DLC achievements in that.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. So you don't actually know.
So
Yeah.
you could look at it and go, oh, they've completed it, but not played the DLC.
Yeah.
But actual fact, I haven't completed it, and I've got DLC achievements as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Separate it.
I do
Fair
like
enough.
platinum trophies. I know you've got several.
I do.
Um,
I do.
just the
Well,
odd one or two, maybe.
So, moving on. Final Fantasy 16 now.
No, we'll do Lies of P first. We'll leave
Oh, okay.
leave
We'll
the
leave
leave it to
the
the start.
juicy one to the end.
Leave the juice one, yeah. So Lies of P. I actually played it maybe a few weeks ago once the demo was out, and I just put a wee bit of time in. Wasn't too hyped. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, was it this week, Lies of P? No, it wasn't. It was a Xbox
No,
showcase.
it was no. Do you know what it was? It was Summer Game Fest. That came out.
Summer Game Fest. Okay, right. Okay. Put literally 7 minutes in, turned it off, and I said on the podcast, didn't like the sword combat. It was kind of like there was no kind of feedback. I just felt like it was just slashing through them. I went for a dexterity build. Which one did you pick?
Yeah, dexterity.
Okay, I thought you would have. So basically, it's Lies of P. Tim, if you didn't know, it's a wannabe Bloodborne-esque Souls game. That takes a lot from Bloodborne. 60 FPS. Bobby told me today he was very hype on it. He says it's a 4 out of 5. You must play it. So I was like, you know what? I'll play it. I'll give it a good go because I wasn't gonna. I was kind of like, nah, I couldn't be bothered. But
I didn't play it because before,
we'll let you
like,
take it away.
earlier. Sorry, I didn't play it earlier because you were like, no, that's not it.
Huh? No. What are you on about?
Yeah, that's what you said.
What are you talking? I didn't play it.
No,
What do you mean?
earlier you played it first. You played it weeks ago and says no, it's not for me. It's not great.
Oh, I'm not saying that's why you didn't. I'm
No,
not
that's
saying
why
that.
that's why I took your word for it. And I was like, okay, no, it's not.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So I
No.
trusted your opinion on it, and then I was
But I
like,
said only play like 4 enemies.
well, I didn't know that at the time, did I? That's why I was like, the day I was like, fuck it, I didn't know what to play. I was just like, I need some gameplay for the podcast, so fuck it, I'll try the Lies P demo.
I think what's happened.
I really like it.
Do you know what I think happened with me, Bobby? It's I played a lot of games that are like trying to be like Souls like. You've got Neo, obviously
Yeah.
now it's doing its own thing. The
Mulan.
Surge, which is decent, but you've got so much stuff like that, and it's like, oh, this is just feels like it's just trying to imitate Bloodborne. So it's kind of like, ugh, and to be fair, it's not the same. So I did stick with it, and maybe it was too harsh on it.
I give her 2 hours on it.
I still think it's gonna be like the Surge, where it's a good game, but it's not the same. Do you know what I mean?
You were saying what, 70s Metacritic? I think it's going to be in the 80s. From
Maybe.
that demo.
I don't know. Like
From
Wo
that
Long's
demo.
in 81. It's just too. So
And here, I tell you what, it looks a pretty lot better than Mulan visually.
it is good. It's more good when you get out of that kind of area at the start.
Yeah.
So it did have a few things it didn't like. The first boss when I got to, by the way, literally just about to beat him, and the weapon durability went, and I was like, "Fuck this,
Yeah.
this fucking
So
mechanic."
that's something that actually annoyed me, but I thought I was going to have to go back to some repair person, but it's not.
And then you
actually
have the button. Yeah, you have
the wee
the.
thing and you can hold it, so you kind of need to break away a wee bit. So it does add a wee bit of risk to it.
Yeah. No, like
So-
it was my fault. That's what I mean. So it wasn't like that. No,
I did grow to be okay with that and kind of accept it.
I'm confused what way it wants you to approach the game. So Bloodborne, there's no real block, and there is a parry with you shoot your weapon, and it
Yeah.
can stun them. Bloodborne's very much dodge. Now we were having problems with the dodge. And then I looked online. A lot of people are having this problem.
Yeah.
The dodge doesn't have a lot of range,
Doesn't.
but it was also sticking on the boss. So I was like, I don't know, because I know you were saying about perfect parry. I was trying to perfect parry everything, but then I don't know what way to approach it. Do I try and do that, or do I do a perfect dodge? I'm not too sure.
As a Sekiro player, I was, as soon as I kind of realized that there was a perfect parry. That was me. And as soon as I realized that and got the timing right, I beat the boss first time.
Yeah, so I think it'll be good. It needs obviously some work done. But it just to me, it's like, okay, well, instead of trying to completely replicate Bloodborne, obviously they added a few things. Why don't you just do something different? It's like try a different setting even. At least the Surge was kind of like robots and shit.
I think it's
But
cool the way it's you're all puppets. You know, because it's going for that Pinocchio. You're essentially Pinocchio, aren't you?
you are.
But
I
it's,
actually I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought, to be honest. Once I got out in the world and you go on the roofs and then there's the
yeah.
shortcuts. You know
'Cause
how I am for shortcuts.
When you says about it being not great before, and I started playing it today, and I was like, no, he mustn't have played much of it because it's like what I'm playing right now is good, and he should like this here. Apart
I don't
from
like the weapon.
Row.
I don't like the way the weapon attacks.
I don't like the way that weapon attacks. So that's why I was thinking
It's like
maybe
poke.
changing to a different one. Yeah, it's like a
I want
rapier or
slash.
something like that. Is that what you
Yeah, I
call it?
want a slash. I want like a
Yeah.
where when you compare the feedback you get when you're fighting in Sekiro though, compared to that, it's like that's from software just do something completely it's just a step up. I don't know what it is. I can't even
Yeah.
explain it. But I just know when it's missing in games. So with this, look, I said 70s. I honestly think this will probably go 70s, but it could go 80s. But
I hate the 80s.
I'm on the fence. It's like if it gets good reviews, good enough reviews where it is in that range, even if it was in 70s, I'd give it a go. But if people are like, oh, it's not great, it's like low 70s, I'll probably just think, you know what, maybe it's not worth the time. But saying that, well, it's September. September's bunged. This would have been perfect in July or August. You know that?
Yeah, I actually thought it was August, but visually, like I thought it looked really well, and I'm pretty sure that was a solid 60. I was getting like I didn't have any
Yeah.
hitches or anything. Like it was silky smooth.
What about the enemies? What do you think of them?
I like them. Puppets.
I think I think it's a bit easy. That's too easy from what I was playing as well.
Yeah, and then you had them big ones. What was the one that Kieran actually thought was the main boss? What it wasn't just like a normal enemy.
I think it actually is a bit too easy. I didn't feel any real threat. I thought like at anything at time I did die, I was like, oh, I literally just don't understand what the fuck I'm
The
doing. here.
bigger guys were a wee bit more of a threat. That
They're-
guy on
yeah.
the roof he knocked me off, and then that's when I was like, you know what? I like the game. He's knocked me off. I can't be fucked.
There's no point playing anymore. Yeah.
But you know, I know what I'm getting in for. I'm sold on it. Like I am gonna.
Yeah.
get it.
Well, it's free on Game Pass, but I wish it was July, August. It's probably perfect time for it. Obviously, we've got Armored Core as well coming out.
In August, yeah.
From Soft's next game, which I'm hyped for, and there's actually gameplay trailer shown this week for it, like a 40-minute demo by Fat Fidget. You should watch
it's
online.
It's out or is it's coming this week?
It's already out. He's
it?
done
I
it as a
just know-
gameplay demo.
I know
I'm just not going to watch much on it.
a couple of people in the industry were watching it and like quite hyped for it. But
Yeah, so-
I'm kind of staying blank off it just at the minute.
And not to leave you out in the blank here, Tim, but obviously you've heard the podcast much about From Software and Dark Souls and stuff. To come to Game Pass, you have an Xbox. I'm sure there is some Dark Souls games that have been on Game Pass. Have you never given a Souls game a blast?
I haven't. No. The gameplay or the game type really never appealed to me, but I think I will give it a try if it does come.
Wolong,
It's one of those
Um,
ones.
It's on Game
Wolong,
Pass at the minute. It's kind of like a samurai kind of Souls like.
Which one is on?
Wolong. It's called.
Wolong.
Got good.
Guys who make
got,
Neo.
got good reviews. Like the
Yeah, he won.
gameplay's fine, but comparing it to Sekiro, it's doesn't or touch Sekiro like at all.
See, those games, those are the types of games you look at from an outside perspective and you think, they are never for me. Like, they're intimidating until you play them. And then there's a point where it switches and you go, oh, actually, no, it's intimidating from an outside perspective, but it's actually not, it shouldn't be. But then you do have an elitist kind of type of people that do play it, like Bobby and me.
Yeah, I would say like they're the most satisfying games to play once you get good at them.
Yeah.
100%. Like see
get
being
good.
stuck on a boss for like an hour and then you eventually get it. Or in Niall's case, you know, sometimes you got stuck for like 2 days and stuff, whereas I did. But when that happens, like, and you do beat it, there is that kind of adrenaline rush that you get from it. And you're like, oh my god, I actually done it.
You know, Kieran has the FOMO right now with this life or Liza P because he's scared of it. He's like, they're not for me.
He's
They're
like,
not
not
for
for
me.
me. You get stuck on the normal fucking enemies.
Patience. That's all you need. A bit of patience. Don't be like
sure,
Bobby and
fucking, it took me ages to beat that first boss in Liza P, but then once I figured it out, I was like, right, there's a perfect fucking parry here, perfect block, and once I knew that there, Sekiro player in me, wee buns.
Yeah. No, look, we'll see. Obviously, I'm at least it's another good game to look forward to. You know what I mean? There was me writing it off. It was the weapon. I think when I first tried it, and I was like, this fucking weapon shite, and it is shite. I hate the wee stabby
But there
stabby.
is, I mean, there is obviously more
There's a
weapons that
balance
we'll get.
and there's a strength which we can
And
try.
then
So
you've got
yeah.
that kind of your left arm, mechanical arm. You get different upgrades for it throughout the game. So
Can I just say, by the way, that's when I was like, okay, I like this.
yeah, when you
When
got the wee grapple, the
it
wee
was
one that
grappling,
brings
I
you
was like,
in.
oh
Yeah.
fuck, yeah, I like it.
So it'd be interesting to see what else we're going to get for that, because that's only obviously the first one we get.
And I like the rooftops and stuff. I like that kind of
Yeah, it's quite
change.
cool.
It's a bit different. I'm
And the
like, no, this
whole
is
shortcuts and all. You love a good
yeah.
shortcut.
Oh, fucking love it. It's
Great.
world design makes me moist.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So there you go, Timmer. Something for you to play as well. Give it a blast. Maybe you should download the demo. There you go.
The
You can let us
demo,
know
I'm
what
just
you
sitting
think.
looking.
demo's out now.
I'm sitting looking at the Game Pass here at the moment. I see that game Wulong that you mentioned, so
Try the
I'll give
Life
it a
of
blast and see.
P. I've seen Life of Pi. It's a fucking movie from 2012.
Yeah. Try
Um,
it and give it a go. It's not for everybody. Like, it's not for Kieran.
yeah.
It
Well, he
might
meant like
not
this
be
one.
for
I don't
you.
think it's that hard, personally.
No, I didn't get. The only time I got challenged was the boss.
Some of the
and then-
bosses, but
but
that's all right. Like
'cause
it's
the roll wasn't working the way I wanted it to, and I didn't know about the perfect block.
and there's a
No.
lot of different like systems I don't really understand yet. Like even with like the L1 triangle to use your weapons, I didn't really see that until late. And shit. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I'd be
So
interested to see how it plays out. But this is one that Andy Cortez from Kind of Funny says like it's the closest they've got to a Souls game.
all they need, see if that dash is a bit more back
Sharp and a bit more
range.
even
That's
if
how
you
you do
change
it.
it to a roll, just a wee bit more of a range, so it does have that kind of Dark Souls feel, that Elden Ring feel for me. It would be
Now there is armor weight. I don't know if you've seen this, like your weight, equipment weight. I was wondering how that affects all that. So I didn't know if it does or
well, we didn't
doesn't,
really
but
have
it's
too
there.
much armor on, to be honest. So
I had a ring
we should have
or a coil or some shit.
be
But
interested
no,
to see.
positive. I was pretty positive on it in the
Yeah.
end. But the real reason I wanted to be on this show, and I was actually going to be excited to hear you talk to it. Final Fantasy 16 demo, 2 hours of greatness, or not.
Or not.
So Bobby, talk me through it, right? Because before you were like you were apprehensive, yeah.
Yeah, well,
You were
I
originally
have
quite hyped on it.
My history with Final Fantasy is
No,
nil. You
think it's furries?
back in school, you looked at somebody that if they have a bowl cut, you know, you imagine you think of Final Fantasy, you think of like someone with like a bowl cut, really hairy arms, probably white pants with piss stains and skid marks on them.
why do you think? Why do you feel like you have the wrong interpretation of Final Fantasy? Now, the picture I sent in the other day, I understand, but that is literally the only Final Fantasy that's like that. So, does it come from that time I brought you on the Final Fantasy 14? Do you think that's where it comes from?
I've always felt like that. I've always thought that Final Fantasy was just gay as fuck, to be honest. Mark
Right,
played it as well. He's big into his anime and stuff. And yes, I like Dragon Ball Z and Attack on Titan, but they're not fucking furries and elves running about with like key swords and stuff.
key swords, Keyblade, that's fucking Kingdom Hearts. Well, anyway, look, 16, obviously Departure. It's the guys who made 14, the MMO. Yoshi P, everyone fucking loves them. So, talk me through the demo. So you put the demo on. You were hyped for this game, by the way, and then you weren't hyped because I feel like you don't want to like a game that I told you that you like for some reason. Okay, and I know you do this. So you put it on, and I was kind of thinking you may or may not like it. You have to give it a chance. But
Yeah.
I noticed that you were staying on past your bedtime, so I was like, out of you. Kieran messaged me going, he's still on, he likes it.
He
And I
bet
was
he
like,
was rubbing his nipples when he said that.
I
too.
said, he's probably just trying to beat it before the night's out because it's quite short. Which
Which it was.
talk me through it then. So you put it on. That
Put it-
start scene with the big dominance fighting. What was your first impression?
That got me to start saying like that was so cool. With the dominance
Really?
like that, yeah. Like, I'm a sucker for Titans and stuff like that. There, that these two big giant beasts fighting each other. I was like, what the fuck is this? When it was first started, I like this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got into when you were just the normal guys. So you're a dominant. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is the guy that you were at the start, is that Clive?
Yes,
In
so
the
they're going to be
future, just?
spoilers for the pog. Yeah, so it's Clive set in the future, right? Now
Okay.
you're on this kind of mountain. There's 2 armies fighting,
Yeah.
and I believe each army around the world, they have a crystal that they want to protect
Yeah.
because the crystal gives you magic power. So basically, people are like, it's like nukes. I want your nukes or whatever,
Yeah.
or
And
your
there's
oil for this thing.
and you have the dominance, but so they
Each
look
one has
like
a dominant.
Yeah, and they can cast magic without the crystal. So otherwise, you need the crystal to cast magic, and they also
Well, no,
transform into
no.
beasts.
You may be getting confused. See the
No.
guys with tattoos in their faces?
Yes.
They're outcasts because they
Yeah.
can naturally cast magic. They're not all dominants, though.
Oh no.
Okay, just
I
making
know,
sure.
no. They're called. So I'm just saying on about the dominants themselves. I'm like,
Oh,
they can cast magic without having
aye,
the crystal,
like their
and
brother,
they
yeah,
transform into the beast. So we're seeing at the war scene at the start, you've got the Titan, and then you've got the ice lady.
Shiva. So, because these are things like those types of titans and shit and Shiva. They're the kind of common. There's common themes that Final Fantasy always has. It has
Mm-hmm.
those guys. It has Ifrit and stuff. It'll have like chocobos. It'll have the same magic spells. That's really it. Some certain character names, for example, but typically every other game's different. Now, that very start, I'll kind of explain my worry was the jump is so janky.
I've read this down. The jump is very static, and you can't really move once you jump into it.
Does not feel triple A.
No.
That movement, and then the way you couldn't even like, I don't know, when you went over to the wall or the cliff, and it's just, I don't know, I don't know what I would
The
want. It just felt very kind of like
even the movement at the start when you're first kind of walking around and jumping like that there, it doesn't feel great.
feels like double A.
Yeah, the jump's horrible. It's just you jump
It's
and it's like
terrible.
straight up. But once you're in the air, you cannot direct the jump. It's just
Yeah,
straight up.
I was right away. I was like, I don't know what to think about that.
While we're kind of on the gameplay and that kind of thing, frame rate choppy as fuck throughout the whole thing. I
I
didn't
didn't
have
notice
good.
too much.
No, I knew it was there, so like I was kind of looking out for that kind of stuff. It wasn't great. Motion
Could be
blur,
patched.
rough as
Let's say
fuck.
it. I noticed the motion, but I can't remember if I played it on my monitor or I did play. I played it on my monitor. You see.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Now
So
your
I don't
man,
know if it
they came
was.
out. I think it was the day maybe and says that they weren't intending on having a day one patch, but I think they are now. So hopefully they can kind of patch the frame rate. They were talking about the frame rate.
Really? Well, fucking 3 months of optimization for what? What are you optimizing?
Yeah.
Fuck me,
So
lads.
in terms of gameplay, that there, I mean, combat was all right. I don't think it was great.
Combat's very easy,
It
but
was
also
yeah, it
very
was
padded enemies.
yeah,
But I like the dodge. Felt nice. Felt swift.
yeah. But the actual fighting and all just feels very okay. I wasn't blown
Yeah,
away by the fighting, and I don't know. Maybe that's because like
early.
Sekiro's class, and
Yeah, nothing's gonna be that
I'm
level.
just a wee bit more critical now on combat than I would have been the start of the
See,
year.
for me, Final Fantasy is pretty much about the story and the world and the characters. That's kind of why I play Final Fantasy games. I don't really care much for the combat. I like at least I had the RPG side when it was kind of turn based. I like that. I didn't mind that.
Mm-hmm.
With this, like to be fair, even with Final Fantasy 7 remake, I just put it on easy and blasted it because I wanted the story. With this, I did think the combat was fun, although a lot of the enemies were just kind of the bosses felt like padded out. But
Did you do it
story
on
wise,
normal?
I did on normal. Probably I'll still do the same on normal. But
So did I.
in
Like, but
terms
it's really easy.
in terms of the story, did you understand what was going on? Was there anything that actually confused you?
No, I pretty much picked up it all. The wee guy, what do you call the wee brother? Joshua.
Aye, we
Yeah,
come.
yeah. So he got the Phoenix power for the dominant thing. His man and dad are cousins.
Yeah, I told you that. Yeah,
But then that happens to quite a lot, doesn't it? Like to keep the royal blood kind of thing.
yeah. It's like you and
Um,
Demi. What? You're your brother
no.
sister, aren't you?
No. So yeah, the bigger brothers, he's kind of like the mother hates him because doesn't think he's worthy because he didn't get the Phoenix. Not right.
Or did I? Oh, I didn't get the Phoenix.
Well,
You
he
got
didn't get
something
the
else.
Phoenix. He got something else. Um, he was Joshua's shield, which is pretty much his protector.
Yeah. Can I just
Um,
say, terrible character design. He looks fucking annoying as hell.
which one?
Clive.
Clive.
What a name as well.
What a stupid
Clive.
name as well. Yeah, Clive.
Like Final Fantasy is well known for its cool, like it's unique. I'll not say cool, unique
I wouldn't say
character
cool.
designs, right? Final Fantasy 14 has the most generic ass character designs, and you can tell that it's the same bloody team because it's just so dull. Like I like that. I think the dad look cool. Like I think the dad. That's
Yeah.
what he reminds me of. Final Fantasy 15 Noctis in the future when he's like a bit older. Like the dad look cool. I was like, I play as him, not fucking Clive. But
Clive, like Tim, what's your just to bring you in a wee bit? What do you have any history with Final Fantasy at all? Because you know you're Harry.
you're very
Thanks.
important. Your bowl cut's sitting there very suspiciously as well.
So I look like a person that should play Final
Aye.
Fantasy, is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry to disappoint you, I actually haven't played it.
Does it
Any of them?
interest you, or are you like, does it look a wee bit weird or?
No, it does interest me. I remember there was a few of them actually on Game Pass at the start,
Mm-hmm.
and I had mentioned it to one of my mates, saying I actually would like to try one of these at some point, but
Be
I don't
careful
really
which
know
one.
where to start. See that you're the perfect person to ask. Where do you start? There's so many.
So people get put off because there's numbers now. There's so many numbers of them. See, before I ever played Final Fantasy, I too was like, "What the fuck is this game? It's mad." I ended up playing it because of like a game called Kingdom Hearts. Fantastic, number one. Yeah, it is. To be honest, it definitely is.
What
But
did you say the other day? The gummy.
the gummy, it was Kieran, the gummy ship is what you used to
Gummy
travel
ship.
from
The
worlds.
fucking gummy ship.
But so every numbered entry is different. So it doesn't really matter. Like if you play a 7, 7's a lot of people's first ones. For like I've played most of them at least in some capacity, but my favorite is 7, 8, 9, and 10, and they're all different, like all completely different stories. So it doesn't really matter which one you play. I would typically say you could play 7 the original. A lot of people's favorites, but nostalgia kind of blinds you. But any one of those 4 are fantastic. And the way you can play them now is where you have like speed boost on. So the grind that you used to have to do, you can just kind of speed your way through it so you can just get the story. But the story in those games is pretty phenomenal. Like, so it just depends. 7 to 10, 10's called X. So I would say either any one. Most likely, I would say go for either 7 or X, or 9. Leave 8 to last. 8's very kind of, people love it, people hate it. So either one of
So
those.
there's
But
absolutely no tie-in to the rest of all their own story.
apart from like there's 10 2.
I like 10. Apart from all that there kind of stuff, like they're all very much different characters, different story,
Yeah.
completely different world.
You have Final Fantasy 15, which I actually think, Bobby, you might like because it's open world and it's it's like 16 in a way,
That's
where it's a
still on
bit more
Game Pass.
serious. Yeah, I think so. So if you do like this, like you have a loads to go in. I know you're probably not going to go too far back. You'll probably give 7 remake a go. You might do that, or you might do 15. But yeah, it just depends what you have. You ever tried role playing games, Timmy? Timmy.
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 Pokemon.
Have you ever
You
tried?
like Pokemon, Tim, didn't you?
Yeah,
I do like Pokemon, yeah.
turn-based.
The
Yeah.
older ones are like that, aren't they? They're turn-based.
I'd give 7 a go, but it looks like Lego. Generally, it actually looks like Lego characters. Are you
You have
mad
a
for
Switch?
graphics?
No. As long as the gameplay is really good and, you know,
Do you like story in games? Like, are you a fan of stories or like
I
in
do like
general?
story, yeah.
Give
Yeah.
7 a go. It's a game I remember playing it, and I was like making fun of my friend. This is in 2003 about the graphics, and then the game kind of changed of what happened. It kind of went dark, and I was like, "Oh fuck, right, okay," and I was hooked. So yeah, you can give it a go. You always get a PS5
When you
and get
say
15, 16.
when you say the combat's turn-based, is it similar to Marvel's Midnight Suns?
No, it wouldn't be like Midnight Suns is like tile-based, turn-based, isn't it?
Yes.
It would be like
Uh,
Pokemon, wouldn't it?
It's more like Pokemon turn-based, but like it doesn't look like Pokemon in that sense. But if you're wanting that style, there's actually a rumored Final Fantasy Tactics remaster, which is really, really highly rated. And that's Marvel Midnight Suns style, actually. Now that you say
Okay.
that, keep an eye on that in the future. So, Bobby, you obviously the 16 demo.
Mm-hmm.
I thought story-wise, slow burn. Ended on pretty much of a high. I thought that ending was quite grim. I didn't even realize that Clive. Spoilers for anyone who's going to play it. Clive's the dominant of
I
effort, but he was
did.
kind of like a closeted dominant.
Yeah. So I did. That's why I texted. I was like, did I? Or he was like, that's him, isn't it? And he was like, yeah. So I kind of seen that coming. As soon as
It's
he kind of
fucking
transformed
dark though,
into it.
isn't it?
So that's what I wrote down. I like the tone in terms of like the swearing and stuff like that there, and the setting. It's medieval kind of fantasy, and I can't compare it to, but you do. I know Tim, you're a big fan of Game of Thrones, so
Yeah,
they kind of compared it to Game of Thrones in
heavily
terms of
inspired by
like
Game of
the
Thrones.
tone and stuff.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Bobby, why the fuck haven't you watched Game of Thrones?
I don't know. Do you know what? See, after I played it, I was actually going to watch Game of Thrones, but I was the night my internet was fucked up, so I couldn't
You
watch anything.
need, like, trust me, see Game of Thrones. Give it a wee bit of time. See Game of Thrones though, especially the seasons 1 to what 5, 6. Oh my god, Game of Thrones. Tim, I don't know how much you're into it, like, but fucking hell.
It's fantastic.
Have you
It
watched
is
House of
unbelievable.
Dragons, Tim?
Not yet, no. I
Jesus
haven't.
Christ.
But
I thought that was brilliant too. But
Yeah, Game of Thrones, Bobby definitely must watch it.
I know, but like it, like there's tons of stuff like The Boys and all on Amazon. I know I'd be like, but I just haven't watched it.
oh, you love that as well. Fucking
Oh,
hell,
Boys is fantastic, absolutely amazing.
I'm
this
just
is
not a
my
big,
struggle with Bobby.
I'm just not a
Uh,
big TV man, you know. Because obviously
Has
I
Nami
work
watched it?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
No,
it's on Now TV if you don't mind. You can get like a free
I've
trial.
got Sky Go. I've got my Sky Go, so I got for the Sky apart from the sports.
Give it a
Uh-huh.
go, mate. You know, it's quite slow at the start, not too slow, but like it's medieval set, then fantasy elements in it,
Mm-hmm.
and lots of sex, blood, and drama, pure dramas. So these guys were obviously inspired by that. But so Final Fantasy 16, are you hyped for it then? Do you want
Yes,
more? Okay,
I
good.
am,
I'm excited.
and I'm gonna go lie. It's the dominance that's done it for me.
Unreal. They are unreal, and you better not fucking spoil anything next week when I listen to this podcast. We're gonna
No,
kill you.
I'll because me and Kieran obviously it would be me and Kieran next week, so we'll keep it spoiler free, but we'll just kind of give our thoughts on the story without any spoilers and things like that and gameplay, whether it's improved or whether it does improve, because that's out what Thursday, isn't it? 22nd.
The 22nd, yeah. So I'll not be able to play it. I bought it though. It's sitting there for you.
Good lad.
No worries. But
So I'm excited to get into the story a wee bit more and see if it sticks.
that's what it's all about. Don't worry about the gameplay. Like the gameplay might be serviceable. Play for the story.
Yeah.
That's why I play them for. But moving on though, games releasing this week. I actually want to touch on this for you, Tim. What you mentioned. So, Tim, are you a fan of the kind of turn-based style of games?
Yes, I like
Game for you
like
then.
Gears Tactics and all. That's what
Okay.
carry on.
This week, I don't know how. Are you a fan of the Aliens franchise?
Yes.
Aliens
Yeah.
Dark Descent is coming out on PS4, 5, PC, and Series X and S and Xbox One. Basically, it's I don't know if it's for Axis. Basically, it's a tiled turn-based aliens game, like Midnight Suns style. So right up your alley. It actually looks good, and I don't really like those games like XCOM and shit or Fire Emblem. But that's out June 20th, so that's what, Tuesday. Obviously, you don't really buy new games, but there's I don't know if it's Game Pass, Bobby.
I could wait for it.
I'm I'm not even saying like it's just
No, I
saying it.
don't.
Maybe Game Pass.
I don't think it is Game Pass.
Well, Christ Team Rumble is out also on Tuesday. It's a game I
That's
haven't really.
that's got my interest. I haven't seen too much on it, but I do like
Yeah.
Crash. If it was something, I don't think it is anything like Crash Bash on the PS1, but fuck, I love that game.
Fucking remember Crash Bash. And
I
then
loved it.
finally, we've got the Final Fantasy 16, June 22nd. I will be on holiday, raging. But when I come back, that's the good thing. When I come back, like right now, I'm in this stage where, because I'm going away, I can't really like, relax and play anything. So when I come back, I have that to put my testicles into. I don't know why I said testicles. Put my dick into. Balls and all.
Mm.
Other than that,
I have.
Bobby, have you anything you guys wish to add?
Yeah, I just want to add some of the PS Plus and extra games for premium games for June.
Go
I
ahead.
guess it's Tuesday. So Rogue Legacy 2. It's like a roguelite. Have you seen that?
Yeah, play Rogue Legacy
It's-
1. That's supposed
it's
to be
meant to be
brilliant.
fantastic. So it's coming day
Yep.
one, PS4 and PS5, the PS Plus extra.
Excellent.
Far Cry 6.
Interesting. It's one I
Interesting.
actually like. I probably should play at some stage, but I haven't.
PS4, PS5. TMNT, Shredder's Revenge. It's coming. I know it was very good. It was on Game Pass.
That was
Still is,
Game
I think.
Pass, yeah.
Other ones, we've got Paw Patrol, Mighty Pups. I might
Oh
actually do
fuck!
the
Here, guess
platinum
who's
on
getting a
that.
platinum? Guess who's
Yeah.
getting a plat?
Peppa Pig, it's coming as well, so I think we're
Oh,
going to
for
platinum
Oh,
on
fuck's
for
that
fuck's
too.
sake, he's going to do them again, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is the most important one. And I actually near wet my pants when I seen it. And this is coming to premium, and I'm actually going to upgrade the premium. Herc's Adventures.
I thought it
This
was
is
Worms
this
you were
game you've
excited
been
for.
going on about for ages.
This is the game I've been going on about for ages, and I had no idea until the day I was just looking, because I wanted just to get the list, because new Far Cry 6 and stuff was coming, so I thought I would mention it, and I was just seeing at the bottom, Herc's Adventures, and I near wet my pants.
Now, Bobby, do you remember you said literally 3 days ago, I don't want to play old games,
Mm-hmm.
even when I try and play them, I just put them on and then turn them off.
Yeah,
This is exactly what this is going to be. You know that?
I don't think so.
Is there trophies?
If there is, like, I'll be, I
That'll
don't
get
know,
you.
like Final Fantasy might have to wait.
Fucking hell.
But this is class. Like, so I've went on about this in the podcast several times. Like, it was on episode one of my favorite games. If you haven't tried it, give it a go. It's PS5 only, premium only. So if you've got it, give it a go and try it. Obviously, most people play it Disney's Hercules. This is completely different, and it's better.
Oh wow, a load of achievements, yeah. What are
What?
you doing? Well, there you go, Bobby. Something to be excited for.
Oh, I'm buzzing. It's gonna be a good week.
Dino Crisis was mentioned as well before. Oh,
Mhm.
that'd be interesting. Yeah, so other than that, Bobby, do you want to do a wee outro there, son? Or actually, Tim, do you want to do it? No, you wouldn't even have that information. Bobby, you can give it a whirl in.
Tim probably knows what he's
I'll let
got to.
Bobby. Leave it to Bobby. He knows where
I
he's at.
just like and subscribe if you like the podcast. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave a review. You can leave a written review on Apple, and it's just a stars on Spotify. You email us readyuppod@gmail.com if you have any user questions or anything you want to discuss that we talked about in the show. If you have any differences about it, we're on TikTok as well. Ready Up Pod. We're trying to post there a wee bit more. Maybe
You haven't this week,
I
lazy
haven't this
bastard.
week. Maybe get something like because that's kind of actually forgot. I was actually texting you about it or the group about it. We've applied for some codes for games, but don't know whether we get them or not. But it's actually because of the TikTok that we got accepted for it. So yeah,
We got accepted? Oh, okay.
yeah. So the website you go on, it's like key something. So I put in all our socials and the TikTok has met the requirements. So it must be because we have so many likes, reviews, or something like that. So we can apply for codes for games that come out. So apply for Starfield, a couple more of the indies ones. I can't remember. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. My eyes were half closed. I just seen it on Twitter, so I thought I would do it. So
That'd be cool.
You don't ask, you don't get. Even
That's
if we
it.
got
When
some cool indies to kind of test and review before they're out would be big like for us.
Yeah, sure. I said before when I used to do like 2012, there was a podcast. I was on Irrational Passions.
Mm-hmm.
Also did some writing. Got to interview John Romero. He made Doom. Him and John Carmack,
I
and
listened to
then
that.
it's terrible. The difference from me even talking now to then. But then also I would get games early. I ended up getting there's a game I used to play called Gabriel Knight, but the maker of that had a new game that came out and she hadn't made the game like 20 years. And I basically emailed them, just says, look, I'll review the game, we give it, and they gave me it early and I played it. Mobius it was called, Empire Horizon. Obviously it wasn't a big game, but still pretty cool. Played it all as well. Nifty. So other than that, look, we'll see you next week. Well actually I won't, I'm gonna be on holiday.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be me and Captain Fluidity next week.
Captain Fluidity covered in Fantasy 16, so stay tuned for that. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.